Chipos, man. I got this, yeah.
And all the pussy that come with it. So full of focus, I'm insisting on keeping it going. The franchise, I exist in a league of my own. Expect attention, I'm familiar with being ignored. The true back, cated locking and closing the door. Brick wall in the road, I won't move. The king, I'm like Roy in the ring, I can't lose. Show the face of what compare to man. You wanna walk? Motherfucker ain't hard to find. I holler back, nigga.
Can't be touched, can't be stopped, can't be moved, can't be rocked, can't be shook. We hot. When will you niggas learn? Came to get crunk, came to bring life, came to get started, came to get right. Turn down the music, turn up my mic. When will you
I move when my heart say move. Feels like a lion, got nothing to prove. Stubborn as a hot damn mule. God in my corner, nigga can't lose. Try to pick me out my hot damn shoes. See how quick I drop up and get you bitches the blues. They gon' see you on the hot damn news. And I ain't leaving nothing, linking me to the crime. Not a print, not a hot damn clue. Beating these niggas down is what I came to do. And I ain't playing by a hot damn rule. Shaking you niggas down if you ain't paying your dues. We passing up your block and ooh. My screws are loose, don't call my hand, cause you gon' make me act a hot damn fool. Dead discussion, you will not win, cause I will not lose.
Can't be touched, can't be stopped, can't be moved, can't be rocked, can't be shook. We hot. When will you niggas learn? Came to get crunk, came to bring life, came to get started, came to get right. Turn down the music, turn up my mic. When will you niggas
Hello everyone, hope you're having a wonderful evening wherever you are in the world. This is the latest episode of Trash Talk. I am Richard Lewis. With me as always every week is my producer Sam lurking in the background, and that was our tribute to John Olomu, the absolute legend of rugby who passed away tragically at the age of 40 after a long battle with kidney problems. An absolute titan of the game, and he passed away a while ago. We haven't had time to do a show since. He was just a fucking phenom. I mean, to put this in perspective, this guy is 6'5", which is almost 2 meters tall. He could run sub 11 seconds, which was an Olympic qualifying time. He could do 100 meters in 10.8 seconds, and he could do it with rugby boots on. This guy was a fucking machine. And I remember the 95 World Cup where he single-handedly dismantled the England rugby side that was touted as the best of the home nations, demolished them as a relative rookie. And that was when a young me decided that instead of just playing rugby for fun, I was going to knuckle down, train a bit harder, hit as hard as him. He was a fucking monster of a man, and he wouldn't have lasted as long as he did with the type of disease he had if he wasn't such a fighter. So, Sam, I hope you'll join me. I'm going to Irish up this coffee.
Of course, Smith.
And we'll have a big drink to the big fucking man. John Olomu, may you rest in peace. You were an inspiration. But none of us live forever, brother. That's the sad truth. And the show must go on. With that in mind, let's talk about the show and some of the things we've got planned. Now, obviously, lots to talk about. But the first thing I think we should talk about is the discovery of an amazing new talent.
Indeed, mate.
Which you discovered.
I have.
I'll definitely give you credit for this one.
I've actually been doing work for the agency I work for, clearly, putting in my graft.
Well, tell us about it. Tell us about it.
Well, I found this rapper. His name's Don Dolo, right? And he's a really thug guy. But I think we should just let him speak for himself, mate. I don't think I can do it justice.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think so. Mate.
Well, yeah. I mean, by all means, if you want to show people what you found, then do it.
All right, here's Don Dolo. What he likes to call philosophy.
On bitches. Told y'all. It's coming. Let's get it.
This is my philosophy, you niggas need to hush it. If it ain't about the money, you ain't sticking to the subject. This a movement, motherfucker, yeah, we working and we hustling. Ain't no talk, ain't no discussion. If I pull it, I'ma bust it. Lot of niggas say a lot of shit, but I don't really trust it. I don't do this shit for fun, I do this cause I really love it. This a movement, motherfucker, yeah, we working and we hustling. Ain't no talk, ain't no discussion. If I pull it, I'ma bust it. This is my philosophy, you niggas need to hush it. If it ain't about the money, you ain't sticking to the subject. This a movement, motherfucker, yeah, we working and we hustling. Ain't no talk, ain't no discussion. If I pull it, I'ma bust it. Lot of niggas say a lot of shit, but I don't really trust it. I don't do this shit for fun, I do this cause I really love it. This a movement, motherfucker, yeah, we working and we hustling. Ain't no talk, ain't no discussion. If I pull it, I'ma bust it, nigga. Picture this, coming from a real lyricist. I impregnate the beat when every single drop of semen hit. I birthed it and rebirthed it, no practicing, no rehearsing. I'm so determined, I'm yearning, plus I'm hungry and I'm thirsty. I need a drink, I need to eat, give me a beat, I murder it. I need a shrink cause these thoughts in my head, I'm not discerning them. These niggas out here claiming they got stripes, but they ain't earning them. I don't associate with peon niggas, ain't no confirming them. I keep a small circle of real niggas on purpose. That's real to the corpus, they loyal when they'll murky. Pussy nigga and hurt you, pistol whip you and search you, make you come off all of that work and all of them pounds of purple. This is real life, homie, no game, you niggas lame. Just keep your steering wheel straight and make sure you stay in your lane. We take this shit so hard, what you niggas take for a game. Ain't no talking, fuck what you thought my little niggas is taking. Aim, bang, to the boogie, nigga, that's how we do. We serve it, then we save it, then we stack it like a Hebrew. Niggas showing their hands cause they too motherfucking see-through. We bird feed cowards, they barely get in the teaspoon. Longevity, what's in head of me, I'm prepared to be the main ingredient. Now fuck that, I'm the whole recipe. I read niggas' mind, I guess you could say that's telepathy. I learned the bitches don't want nothing in life, you gotta let them be. This is my philosophy, you niggas need to hush it. If it ain't about the money, you ain't sticking to the subject. It's a movement, motherfucker, yeah, we working and we hustling. Ain't no talk, ain't no discussion. If I pull it, I'ma bust it. A lot of niggas say a lot of shit, but I don't really trust it. I don't do this shit for fun, I do this cause I really love it. This a movement, motherfucker, yeah, we working and we hustling. Ain't no talk, ain't no discussion. If I pull it, hey, I spit it like a venomous snake. Check out the shit I create. Gifted enough to make niggas feel every word that I say. I only fuck with real niggas, don't associate with them fakes. I keep my mind on my money and keep that thing on my waist. Never mistake me for nothing other than what I represent. An intelligent individual just trying to pay the rent. So if it ain't about the moolah, then it don't mean nothing to us. We tired of struggling and striving, trying to make it out the sewer. Who the fuck are you to say that we'll never amount to nothing? But if we dead or either locked up from all of this petty hustling. I see it from a distance, you niggas better listen. I refuse to be wrote off as just another black statistic, one without a headstone or doing 50 in the prison. That ain't even my vision, shit, I'm trying to feed my children. Ain't saying I'm the best, but I know I'm worth a couple million. My music is a movement, an empire's what I'm building, feel me? Fuck a 16 on this when you gotta get a 32. Fuck them niggas you with, they want a trip, then they can get it too. Fuck it, I said I did it, bitch, I'm living proof. Fuck around and send them young niggas to come and get at you. It's reality, y'all, this hatred I'm channeling through this pen and this paper, just something to rejuvenate you, this my nature. I'm middle finger fucking all you haters. Shout out to all my niggas that work with them calculators. To all the women that know how to appreciate them, man. Get at the done, I fuck around and put that diamond on your hand. I'm looking for distribution, but I'm looking to expand. I take 2.5 with 200,000 in advance. Dance to the beat of my drum. Fuck where you from, it's all about money with me. Anything other than that is dumb. Yeah, I'm lyrically inclined with rhyme, plus I'm the bomb. This ain't even my best shit, nigga. I'm just really having fun. The dumb.
Right, so a couple of things to observe here, Sam, and I want you to tell me all about this. Because I know this isn't a new video or anything. It's been around for a bit, but not super long, but a bit. So first of all, yeah, I think it came out back in September, early November. But the first thing I want to say about the video is, like, when it was daylight when he started, and then it was fucking nighttime by the end. And also, like, his fucking finger, dude, like, that's unreal. Like, you're serious. Like, that's fucking, you've done it, Sam, when you like hold the camera and you just hold it upright and your shoulder starts killing. Yeah. When you're filming something, that finger, the things he could do with that finger, that's probably why he was in jail. He flicked some cunt to death.
Well, at one point, I think he says he finger fucks the stacks of cash or something. Like, I finger fuck this, man. So maybe that's what's happening.
So how did you come across Don Dolo?
I can't even remember though. I just remember sending it to you in a drunken haze. You gotta see this, man. Much like most of the ideas of trash talk.
So, what do we know about Don Dolo? Because this is the kind of guy I'd like to see more of.
Well, we know his real name is apparently Don Dolo, and I did find a website. It's called 100% realmovement.com. So let's have a look.
Right.
This is his
website.
Let's
have a look at this website.
100% realmovement.com.
Right.
So the website's a bit racked. It's basically just his face over and over again. See what? Yeah. Yes, this is video. This is a wait. Is this a philosophy song? Let's unmute it for a sec so we can hear. No, it's not philosophy.
In the field, gotta say it's gonna be touchdown, and it's on every single.
I think that's in the streets, mate. Oh no, even when I lose, I win is classic. Even when I lose,
I win. Even when I lose, I win.
Yeah, that's what it says. Yeah, it's
spelled it wrong.
Even when
Can
I
you
lose,
highlight that
I win. Yeah. There it is.
Can you just bring that up to the stream? So even when I lose, I win. Okay, well that's I'll let him off with that. I'll let him off.
Another classic as well is a Where's he got? For my homies, mate. Shout out
Where's
to
that?
my
Where's
homies.
from my homies?
Another classic from Dondolo, from my homies.
That's very progressive of him. To give a shout out just to his homies.
Yeah, just the homies, mate. Shout out to the homies.
Yeah.
And he has got his own shop, mate, because I know you'd be well up for it. So,
Right, well, I want to buy his produce. How can I do that?
well, actually, on his website, it's a little shit, right? Because if you go to his website, you can't see much of it. But luckily for us, mate, he has got his own Facebook. So if we go to his Facebook, he's got many models modeling these clothes he wears. So let's have a look at
Has he? Let's have a look.
Right. So here's one of his friends wearing the 100% real movement one. Hang on. I think there she is. There's a better model. 100% real movement, mate.
Yeah, that's really something.
And there's Dondolo, mate, in his prime. There he is.
The one in the pink is
It's got to be some of the golden ones.
is that what they call ghetto chic? Is that what it is? Here's what I don't get as well, though, right? Go back to the picture of him. Go back to the picture of him, cause he looked fucking ripped and cool.
He's straight tugged
in the video,
in
but in this photo, he just looks like a slightly taller Beetlejuice from Howard Stern.
Look at him.
What is going on there? Can you bring up a picture of Beetlejuice just for comparison? Can we do that? Because he looked way cooler before.
Even when I lose, I win, mate. Even when I lose, I win. Right, hang on, I gotta find. There we go. Beetlejuice is so funny, man. Alright, so here's Beetlejuice.
Go on.
That's Beetlejuice, and this is Dondle. Even when I lose, I win.
But why did he make himself look like Beetlejuice? I don't get it. He had loads going for him. He had so much going. He can't do it with a big mic over his mouth.
And a cigar, mate. Look at that.
Come on, you can't see his face to make the comparison.
Doesn't matter, mate. We get the gist.
He does get one with his face up now. I demand.
Alright, let's find a good one. Just looking at pictures of Beetlejuice makes me happy in general. Can we just do it for the rest of the show? Let's find pictures of Beetle's head. This is a good one. This is a good one, mate. There he is. His head's so small. Oh.
Small dude.
Look at the headphones that's not fitting over his head. Straight wearing around his neck as well. Neck phones.
There is just a bit of a similarity there, though. Like, so if I was on, first thing I would do if I was going to sign Dondolo,
right,
is I would definitely fucking just tell him to get the old look back. Stick to the vest. Stick to that type of thing. Stay topless.
Yeah,
you know,
go back to the skinhead. Growing out these little side bits of hair aren't going well.
It just makes his face look fatter and weird, like Beetlejuice's. It's just cool. It's just not a good look for him. So what does he play gigs?
Right, that's the thing. Right, so on his website, he does have a bookings page, which currently only gives an email. But doing some due diligence, I was able to find the phone number, and we do have the technology, man. We do, in fact.
You want to call him?
We do have the technology to try and book Dondolo, to try and agree on a fee for it. Right, this is what we do. We're just straight spitballing on air now. Right, we call him and say, we need him to just like come and rap at like an event, mate. See if he, mate. Imagine if we can get him to come to a major MLG. Just ask him.
Yeah.
He lives
All right,
in
let's do it.
Texas as well, so it's not far.
Let's do it.
All right, okay.
Let's do it. Let's call him.
All right, we have the
Let's call
technology.
Don Dolo. Who's going to talk to him? Are you going to talk to him, or shall I talk
Nah,
to him?
you could talk to him, mate. I'm gonna have to hide Skype a sec, lads. Oh, just to make
Right.
sure you don't see his number. Don't want to wreck him now, do we?
Yeah, no, we definitely don't want to wreck him. We definitely don't want to wreck him. Is there a number for Beetlejuice, by the way,
There is.
as well? Maybe we can compare rates.
Let's get them both in on a dual call. Right, how do I call someone? There we go.
Okay. Yeah, you just put the number in.
Give me a
Right.
sec.
Will they be able to hear both of us?
Yeah, but I'll mute as well, dude.
You'll mute yourself.
Right, he's in
Okay,
here, mate.
cool. Right.
Just give him a ring.
Ring me. Ring Don Dolo.
I've just muted Skype now, so you guys can still hear me. Give me a sec. I'll show you Richard's face. Calm down. Yeah, I'm here, mate. I'm here. Just mute.
Please
Yeah,
leave your
yeah.
message for
Oh, it's a message. You want me to leave a message?
Yeah, why not? Why not, mate? What is this? Right, we're gonna have to hang up on it.
Right, call it back.
Yeah, it's
call it
mad.
back.
It's lag in the Skype call as well, man. Right, hang on. I gotta hang up on you for a
Call
second.
him
Call you
back.
back. Right, let me hang up on you.
Call
Right?
him
Just
back.
give me a sec.
Right.
Right. This show is fucking ridiculous. Right, let me find Beetlejuice's number, lads, while we're having a wait. Fucking hell. Oh, no, I'm calling Don Dolo solo. Solo Don Dolo. Right, we're just straight alone right now. Hang on, Skype's having a meltdown. We're coming back. This guy's gonna not know what the fuck happened when he checks his phone. Fuck's sake, Skype, what is this? You're ruining comedy gold. Okay, if we come back. Coming back. Where's Papa Richard? Where is he? There he is. There's Papa Rich. There he is.
Right, so what's going on?
Right.
Are we leaving a message?
Yeah, I'll
Let's
try
leave
and
a
phone
message.
him again because for some reason Skype shit
Right.
the bed. So round 2.
Imagine that. It's almost as if it's the best software ever.
Right, okay, we're giving him a call. I'm gonna mute Skype, but I'm.
We
Still
need to
calling
move to Discord, by the way.
Yeah, eventually.
Yeah, we need to. We just
Once
need
they
to do
give
it.
us a
Fuck Skype.
That's okay. No, muted. Oh, we're having a ring this time. We're having a ring. Yeah, this show isn't a call-in anymore, by the way. This is straight me and Richard doing what the fuck we want. Oh, what's that?
please leave your message for
Okay. That was a great phone message.
Hi, I'm hoping to reach an artist called Don Dolo. My name's Richard Lewis. We're looking to hire you. We saw a Facebook video after it had gone viral, and we're just wanting to discuss about the possibility of hiring you for an event. It's perhaps something you've not experienced before. It's a competitive gaming event that would involve games like Counter-Strike or maybe Call of Duty you've played. And what we'd like you to do is perform at this event, kind of do an opening ceremony, if you will, and perform a few songs for the attendees. Anyway, you'll be able to find me on Twitter. It's at R for Richard, of course, R Lewis Reports, and you'll be able to see that I'm legitimate, and hopefully we can move this forward. Thanks a lot for your time.
Fucking, that's incredible, mate. Oh,
Yeah, you like that
incredible. Yeah, that was fucking good.
Thing is, if we weren't on air, I would have just given him my phone number.
Yeah.
Don Dolo's the kind of guy I think I could get along with.
Oh, right. No, the question is, are we calling Beetlejuice?
Dude, there's no fucking way on God's green earth we get through to him tonight.
Mate, you don't realise
He must have an agent.
He does.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, he does.
Beetlejuice doesn't need an agent. He needs a fucking carer, for fuck's sake.
He's got both,
He
mate.
can't answer his own phone.
Yeah,
He's got both.
Do you know, he manages his own boxers, mate. He works in a place called Stick and Move Management, and he actually coaches boxers. I swear to God, mate. Right, I've got the number, mate. We're having a call. We're having a phone. We're all having a phone. Yeah, we're phoning Beetlejuice.
What am I going to say to him? Same thing.
Yeah, same thing. And see which one will come.
You know it's going to go through to an agent type.
Mate, I reckon we can somehow convince Rob from Gfinity to have Beetlejuice do the intro for Gfinity. I reckon there's a way in there, mate. I reckon there's gotta be a way in.
Alright then.
See, you know there is, mate. You legitimately do realize there is a way in.
On that.
Right, we're having a phone.
Phone.
Right, they're in. Come on. These guys are from New York. Why are they not answering?
You've reached the voicemail of Bobby Rooney. Please leave me a message and I'll call you back. Thank you.
At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Bobby Rooney's his
To leave a callback number, press 5.
Hi there, sorry to bother you. We were hoping to reach the entertainer Beetlejuice, perhaps most famously known from the Howard Stern radio show as part of the Whack Pack. My name is Richard Lewis, and I work in competitive gaming, or what's commonly known as esports. And what we're looking to do is see if Beetlejuice would be available as an entertainer to do an opening show for one of our events. I'm sure he'll be familiar with some of the games. You have things like Counter-Strike, Call of Duty, this type of thing. And he'd just have to entertain the attendees, tell a few jokes, maybe even play a few games. It should be a relatively straightforward and easy gig for him. Anyway, I'm not able to leave a contact number now at the moment, but you could send me an email if you like. I'll give you my personal email address. It's Reed, that's R-E-A-D, 1822 at hotmail.com, and you'll be able to get all of the details there. Mainly, we just want to kind of get a rough idea of how much it would cost. Of course, all expenses and that sort of thing would be covered by us. Anyway, thanks a lot for your time. Hope you have a wonderful day, and looking forward to speaking to you.
Right.
What?
We're in the dire times now. We can't do DreamHack anymore. So basically, we need to make Gfinity MLG so good that we just have Beetlejuice on.
I don't think.
What if we get Beetlejuice? We train him to be a
stop
desk course
hyperventilate.
for DreamHack.
That's never going to happen,
Yeah, it
is
would,
it?
mate. It could. Believe in Beetlejuice. He can do this.
Come on.
All right. Okay.
Right,
All right.
so-
I'm done now.
So we leave those irons in the fire, shall we? I still haven't got my pretend bloody doctorate back either.
Oh yeah. The
I
debate
know.
will have to wait another week.
It's going to have to. It's a shame as well. Did you get that screenshot
Which one?
of Riot Lights? The new love interest.
No, Yeah, but I can't remember
Yeah,
now.
yeah. It's all right. We'll set that up for another show. We don't want too much good stuff in one show, brother.
I was having a meltdown
So-
during those calls, mate. Those were so fucking good. Just imagine if
No,
Beetlejuice
but-
phones back, mate. And he does Gfinity, please. Just imagine that for a second.
Look, I know Beetlejuice is a personal hero of yours for some
He is,
reason.
mate. He actually
Yeah,
is.
I get that. I get that. But obviously, Don Dolo's the guy that's going to deliver the better show.
I'd argue with you on that, mate. Who's going to give the better show? Come on now.
It's definitely going to be Don Dolo, mate. I'm putting that out there.
100% real, mate.
Yeah, 100% real movement. Fucking Beetlejuice by comparison will be 100% bowel movement. I can't deal with that.
This show is a fucking joke.
Can we talk about esports for him?
Yeah, we're 30 minutes in and we literally just talked about Beetlejuice and Don Dolo.
Fuck it, man. Okay, first thing is, right, I reckon I'm going to auction this stuff because I kept the sign.
You brought it home. I didn't know that.
Yeah, because of this. Brought the sign back. Proud Mom Hiko Go Liquid. Now again, look, it's got fucking Neo fucking
Philip Kubski.
Yeah, how the fuck am I supposed to know?
Should have known, mate.
Like that, we belong
Should've
to
known.
anyone. The logo's well done though.
Yeah, it is. So
If Kelly drew that, she can actually draw. That's pretty fucking talented. So, but I got this. I was thinking like I might auction this off, like.
do it for
Do
charity.
you know what I mean? What for charity? Yeah, what for an anti-choking charity?
Yeah.
Heimlich maneuver awareness. So, anyway, so I've got that. So we don't need to talk about that anymore.
Yeah, we're done.
I think that's all been put to bed now. It was all a bit silly. Obviously, I'm making a joke about it, but you definitely can't go around putting your hands on people. You know,
Some would argue you
can't
can't
do
go
that.
around searching for people at events as well, mate. But, you know.
Yeah. You've gone underwater for me there, mate. You're having a wobble, you are. Yeah. It's alright though. I'm guessing as long if the people
Yeah,
can't
it
hear
sound
it,
alright.
that's alright.
I was saying, mate. Your camera's clear and everything now. It's all brightened up ever since we phoned Beetlejuice.
Yeah, I know. And now it's literally like listening to I don't know, like you're underwater.
No,
Hopefully it won't stay like that. Anyway, so let's talk about some of the interesting shit that's going on in esports. Can we talk about the first fucking story? Because this is like super fucking weird. So, Team Liquid player, hang on, sorry, I'll hold this up. Team Liquid player, Quas, made this like weird post, like, I don't know, about 2 weeks ago in total or something. And he was talking about Hugo Chavez.
I know it's unreal.
Right? And saying, you know, that all this stuff was going on in his native Venezuela and he didn't understand it. And I was like, well, I read the Facebook, you know, I Google translated it and I was like, that's a bit weird. And then I read a better translation.
Still a bit.
And I was like, I was like, that's even more weird actually, now that it makes more sense.
Yeah.
I didn't really get where he was going with it. Then we had this suspension.
Yeah.
Now, nobody knows what the cause of the suspension is.
I think we do, mate. I think a few of us.
Well,
know.
do we?
Bear drugs. From reading all statements, my guess is he's gone on a mad existential trip, triggered by whatever issues he's going through, and he's come out the other side, realised esports is for mongs. Just peace. See ya. Peace. That's what it seems like to me.
Well, so in this post that he's brought out today, he says, I mean, I won't read it all, but I can read the choice bits. He said that he just wants to talk.
Oh, you've just cut out for no reason. You've just unplugged your mic. Richard, can't hear you. Richard still can't hear you. Definitely can't hear you. And he's gone. He's gone. There he goes. There he goes. Alright, you know the score, boys.
Hey there, Riot Light. Just look at you, sat there, dressed as my sassy bitch. You love being my sassy bitch, don't you? And going and putting anything on that I ask you to. You love getting dressed up for me, don't you? You have to do it, because you're no kind of a man, are you, Riot Light? Not with your little dinky winky penis. Little worm who you're never going to satisfy anyone with, are you? No. Not with that eeny weeny little dick. It's pathetic. A worm or a maggot is bigger than your little dick. Anyway, a little birdie tells me that you are scared of being toxic. Oh, you're pathetic. Now get off my screen.
Right, you smoothed over that crack incredibly well there, Sam. So anyway, obviously when we chop the VOD together, I'll just continue. So yeah, he's been suspended from Team Liquid. He put this twit longer out today where he says that I never spoke out about this, but I might as well do it now. I've dealt with depression and anxiety issues growing up since my early teenage years, having a hard time building relationships with people and getting along with others in healthy ways. My biggest way to cope with this has been through video games. To me, it's been more than just a hobby. I describe it as a way of seeking greatness and motivation towards something while staying in a comfort zone. It distracted me from dealing with some of my personal issues, as well as pursuing my own goals in life. My mind was so focused on video games that I was able to get a P1 athletic visa and gain recognition as one of the best players in my role. I was given opportunities that were not available in Venezuela, and under Team Curse and then Team Liquid, was able to compete, earn a good living, and have experiences I never thought I would have. The last couple of weeks have been pivotal for my self-development. I started taking responsibility over my depression and frustrations about my personal development thus far in life. You could call it growing up, whatever it is. It has given me more control of what I want to do moving forward. Unfortunately, this process has not been easy, and I've done it in non-constructive, aggressive, and inappropriate ways that led to behaviors that resulted in my suspension from Team Liquid. I realize now the impact all of this has had on my teammates, management, and other Team Liquid staff is not becoming of any professional athlete. I'm not going to get into the details, and I hope the community, my fans, can accept that and support me and the team moving forward. I've offered my help in any way that I can to Steve, so they can still be a strong and successful team in the next LCS season. Having just turned 24, I've thought out my options. I've decided to retire from professional gaming and in turn pursue other passions in my life to also get myself out of the comfort zone I've become accustomed to. As far as my future, I'm still figuring out details, but for now, I'm looking to pursue a medical career. So I don't know if it's a drug thing, Sam.
Don't you though, mate? If you add all the statements up together, you know, he's thinking about stuff at home, you know, he's right. The reason I think it's got to be drugs is because of the word suspended. He wouldn't be suspended if he had done something, you know what I mean? It's got to be bad. He must have done something bad in the house for it. Otherwise, they wouldn't use the term suspended.
He could have done something bad. It could have been an argument. That's pretty bad. Serious argument.
No, because why would he have this deep existential crisis over an argument?
Because the stress of esports is turning him into someone he doesn't like. I can identify with this, Sam.
Right,
shall we talk about this?
You can think what you want. I think mad drugs.
Shall we talk about Chavez?
Exactly.
Should we talk about Hugo Chavez?
Bit deep.
We could do.
Could if you want.
I liked him when he was. I liked him when he was chairman of OPEC. But anyway, you know, like it's not beyond the pale. It's not beyond any reasonable doubt at all. He could have had a fucking meltdown with his teammates.
Could have.
And obviously, you know, Team Liquid, the professional organisation,
even with
can't
an
have
argument,
that.
I don't think they'd say suspend. They'd say released. Even with an argument, suspend isn't the word they'd use. He's either had to have hit one of his team, right? And the other thing, Special said, this was really sad. Like, this is, this, I can't say anything about the situation, but it's super sad. Arguing wouldn't be sad.
Well, again, let's say, just as an example, he got really, really angry and tried to choke someone. I'd say that'd be sad. That'd be sad.
Yeah, maybe.
It's definitely sad.
Yeah, but we didn't say hitting at first. We said arguing. Maybe he hit one of his teammates. I don't know, but
Yeah, could have got physical, right?
maybe that might make sense.
But it could be sad. But here's the thing: like the key point in all of this is it also makes me wonder if, I don't know, like, did he want to retire? That's the other question, right? Or is it a kind of, we'll keep it secret, but you have to go, which is strange because wasn't Quas one of the guys that had offers for other teams, including famously, Badawi, that talked to him.
Yeah, he was one of the best top laners in the league. I'm sure if he was leaving his thing, TSM would have liked to have him. If he was leaving his contract.
It's all a bit odd. It's a very strange story. I'm pretty sure as well, like, I know enough about esports to know that this won't stay a secret.
No.
It'll come out.
Yeah, eventually. Just have to wait. Like all good things in life, man.
Yeah.
Any other topics, man?
No, I just if it is drugs, I'd like to know which ones.
The best ones, apparently.
I've been on introspective trips before. Maybe me and Quas can hook up and talk about him. Fuck it, maybe he'll phone in. I'd like that.
Trash talk, man. So basically, I've done bare drugs for 2 weeks and just had a meltdown.
The perfect show. We talk about politics, we talk about drugs, and we talk about esports. Occasionally religion. Why not?
Yeah.
You're perfect place for him. Other big story that broke today. It's been a long time coming. This has been one of the long, drawn, protracted breakups. It's kind of like a Prince Charles and Princess Diana situation, except hopefully no one's going to die in a horrendous car crash at the end. But TSM and their CSGO team have officially parted ways today with an announcement about a new team coming tomorrow. Now, I can give a little bit of insight into the reasonings behind what's gone on with TSM. I mean, first and foremost, it's got to be said, the TSM organization has to shoulder some of the responsibility because they've chronically mishandled the CSGO team. You could barely get a tweet. You could barely, like, about when they were at tournaments, they were pretty much sidelined and marginalized. Now, the excuse for that was, yeah, but that was meant to be Freddie's job, the manager's job. Trust me, when you're at an event, you got better things to be doing than tweeting. Certainly, you'd never catch me doing that at all because I'm way too busy at events for that sort of nonsense. So, obviously, Freddie's got things to be doing, and they were trying to pin it on him. I think you should just have a social media manager. If you're an organization that size, you have one guy. Fuck it. You'll find people that'll volunteer to do that shit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do. I'm pretty sure the social media manager they have probably just got told, just don't care about CS. Because they do have a social media manager. I'm almost positive of it.
So, all a bit strange. But the other thing that it links to, money, of course. Now, when TSM went there, it was reported that they were the highest paid team. And, of course, other organizations came out and disputed it, including, hilariously, NIP.
Yeah, we pay them loads. Don't get the money, though.
Yeah, they're getting loads, guys. We pay, like, yeah, you don't actually give them the money, though. So it's kind of, not really how it works. But anyway, now what happened was, since TSM were like the super highest paid, the salaries are massively inflated. And especially as we move into 2016, we got TV leagues coming in. We got all this amazing shit happening in CSGO. So obviously everyone's salary's gone up. And I imagine TSM were expecting that to happen as well because, there's something wrong if what once was the number one team within a space of, I don't know, 6 to 9 months or whatever it is, all of a sudden everyone's ahead of you and you're getting paid the same as second tier teams because everything else is inflated. Obviously, it's going to be incredibly frustrating. Now, we can only speculate where they're going to end up. But a few interesting things to note. So just before all of this, they had I'm pretty sure, a meeting with representatives from Optic. There was definitely talk about them going to the area where Optic were based when they were talking about flying back. They all added each other on Twitter. I know Optic have been interested in CSGO for a long time. That all goes without saying. And this would be a hell of a pickup for any organization, let alone a big name in esports that's looking to get in on the ground floor, but with a really decent team, much like Envious did when they first came in. There's not really a lot of talent of this caliber available right now. So whoever gets these guys is going to be getting a great team, and probably is getting them relatively cheap because of the situation that occurred with TSM. But new evidence has come to light to suggest maybe it's not going to be Optic. Now, obviously, nobody likes leaks, so people are going to deliberately throw in red herrings and try and obfuscate what's going on. But just today, we saw that we had Team Secret basically. There was a Vietnamese team who were calling themselves Team Secret. Coincidentally, on the same day, you see that TSM are tweeting question marks, saying we're going to be called a question mark for now. A lot of people are all inferring that all of this is pointing to them going and joining up with the Team Secret guys. I don't know. I no disrespect to Team Secret and their funding, but I would say maybe there'd be more money elsewhere. But certainly there isn't anything definitive floating out there in cyberspace right now that proves one way or the other where they're going to go. So what do you think about it?
I think they'll probably join Optic or another COD team, because Optic have a shit ton of money. Well, I say shit ton. Considering that they play COD, the social media outreach in COD is unfucking believable. Like, the amounts of sponsorships you can get based on your players, like Twitter and likes and Twitter followers and Facebook likes alone, it's fucking unreal. So if they want the most money, they probably go to Optic. The only thing is then it's another like NA org with an EU team, which apparently caused trouble with TSM, so I don't know if it'll be the same. I don't think it will. I think because Optic are so desperate to get in CS, they'll take a lot more care of them. So we'll see.
Mm. So there's that. They're the two big stories. Give you a quick headline roundup, and then we'll get into some calls. So what else has been going on? We saw actually the IEM Cologne situation was a bit weird. I was trying to keep up with this, and Fnatic and H2K are going to be in there. They got the final two spots based on the team vote, and then we had Liquid obviously pulled out as a result of all of this Quas drama, which has basically given the new look Dignitas the opportunity to get in there. So that's a little bit interesting. Suggests that this Quas thing really has come out of left field, and they don't have, a plan there. But H2K Gaming is still, they're making their team still. They've been involved in a protracted battle for Svenskeren, which has gone a bit quiet after the threats of legal action between them and TSM. We've also saw that they are likely to include former Roccat players Jankos and Vander. So it's amazing that they're going there, but Team Liquid don't feel comfortable using a stand-in for the top. So all a bit weird. We had confirmation of something that I think we kind of knew was going to happen anyway. But basically, Gravity Gaming decided they were going to sell their LCS spot, and it went for reported $1 million. This is like another spot going for over $1 million. We know Dignitas went to Follow Esports, right?
Mm-hmm. Splice.
That went for over $1 million. They're calling themselves Splice now, aren't they? Team Coast went to NRG. That was over $1 million. Team 8, who are now calling themselves Immortals, believe they're that went for around about $1 million, slightly over $1 million.
I was surprised there isn't really like an organization dedicated to finding the best talent in NA and just making spots and just straight farming them. At this point, if it's worth $1 million a time, surely that's got to be worth the investment to get like a good talent scout and stuff.
I like this is what I don't get, right? So it just seems to me like I thought we were all adverse to this at one point. Weren't we all adverse to people just coming in and buying their way to like success? Didn't we like used to not like that in esports?
I don't give a fuck. I've always never given a fuck. But yeah, I think the general consensus was bad. Well, actually, I think the general consensus was bad is if you buy the team, then kick the players out. I think that's what people.
Yeah, but that's what's happening.
Well, yeah, but get wrecked.
All of these in all of these instances.
So
it's like, I mean,
Dignitas kept the team.
Well, all right, for now, I guess.
Yeah.
I imagine changes will be made, right?
Maybe, who knows?
So yeah, or I mean, I kind of understand it. It's just it feels like ridiculous. Like the players get there, get all that effort to get a salary together. A lot of times they've done it under duress, especially in the Challenger Series where there is no stipend salary. So that a lot of times they've just done it for like food and board, and sometimes they don't even get that. I'm talking about UCoast. So they fucking put all that effort in to get a salary. They get there, they're all super happy, and then it's like, we just sold for $1 million, by the way, guys. Cheers for getting us into well. You don't get a single penny of it, and that salary that you thought you were going to get, you're definitely not going to get, because at best, you'll be a substitute for the new owners.
Well, I thought of a way to fix this was, the original 5 people that qualify for LCS are the ones that are going to get the paycheck no matter what. So if you want to make a roster swap, then the organisations has to front the 12.5k. Unless the player steps down.
Yeah. It'd be better than the situation we've got now, right?
I'd say that.
So... But yeah, all seems a bit weird. So anyway, there was a few other little bits and pieces that may be worth talking about. Obviously, Yellow Star out of Fnatic. Big news, right?
Yep, I think he's just going to go milk the last of this cash cow, mate, before he wanders off to the sunset.
Well, the thing is, out of all the people who need to be milking anything and going off into the sunset, it's not him. No. He was still one of the best supports.
But it's like, go to NA and make 4 times the salary.
Yeah. And I mean, this is an ongoing issue, actually. That this is coming up time and time and time again. That I don't get what it is. We've talked for the longest period of time in esports about how we have infrastructure in esports, right? Like, and that we have it here in Europe, and NA doesn't. And yet, it's the NA ones that are out competing us salary-wise. That makes no sense.
I think it's more just social outreach. Like why COD guys can get 6 sponsorships even though the game is, not exactly big. If you've got mad social outreach, that's basically what sells sponsorships nowadays.
Well, yeah, but even so, I mean, you look at the sponsorship deals that some of the European organisations have. It's hard to believe that they can't financially compete with a North American organisation. That makes no sense to me. So something's not right. I think that money's being misused almost. If that's the case, so it does seem a little bit crazy. But yeah, so I think props to Yellowstar. Obviously, I want to see him make bank. Guy deserves it. But it's a worrying trend again to reintroduce that meme. It is worrying that for some reason we can offer all this infrastructure and all this other cool stuff. But when it comes down to just fucking 6 Skrilla, North Americans outbid European organisations repeatedly to the point now where it's becoming a bit of a joke. It's a bit of a joke. All of these people are, fucking saying I can play in a weaker league and have an easier time in a better country in some ways. If you've got money to spend, certainly, and I can make more cash doing it, what the fuck? Obviously, people are going to go. So European organisations need to raise their game. And the final story, and then we'll get to some calls. Obviously, this is StarCraft, and we used to have a lot of StarCraft stuff, not quite so much now, but I'm sure we'll all want to sort of pay tribute to Flash, arguably the greatest esports player of all time, not just in StarCraft. He made the most money over a career outside of anyone, other than the Dota 2 guys, basically, people who won internationals. So just an amazing talent, and obviously finally calls it a day. So sad times. Anyway, we'll get into some calls, I think. Who've we got? What do they want to talk about?
Well, Skype almost had a meltdown, so you're catching up, but I think you're fine now. So we're going to go with Sunny, and he wants to talk about player and talent unions and the progression that is being made or still needs to be made.
Okay, so Sunny. Hello, can you hear me, Sunny?
There we go.
I can indeed.
You all right, Sunny? I recognise your voice. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. Just
awesome.
Chilling out. Had my brother's birthday today, so easy day.
Oh well, happy birthday to your brother. If you want, we can book Don Dorlaw to play at his birthday
I would love
party.
that.
Jump out a cake and shoot him.
Oh, I don't know if I can afford it, to be honest.
But
I don't think I've got
anyway,
those kind of funds.
It's all right. We'll have a fundraiser. Like I say, I'm going to auction off that sign. Going to auction off this bad boy, and
brilliant.
then we'll see how much money we get for it. But anyway, so you want to talk about talent unions and agencies,
yeah,
and what sort of progress has been made.
Well,
so let's get in.
Well, first of all, just the player union in general, because I know it was definitely something close to your heart when you sort of spoke about it, and now it's sort of becoming a thing with some teams opting in. I think the only thing I've seen official was I think it was NBK to CLG, which is I don't know why that's the one that's in my memory, but that's the one I remember. And sort of, I don't know at what stage it is at the moment.
Well, the sad news is, I mean, look, it was going pretty well. It was going good guns, and we've talked to lots of people. We got representatives in NA. We got representatives in EU. We're close to amalgamating smaller groups. NBK is an unofficial spokesperson for a large group that we're aware of. But some people in that group have reservations about formalizing, which I can understand. So me and Nathan haven't really had a proper talk about this. And of course, with all of this DreamHack drama, what you've got to remember is it now makes it incredibly difficult to progress this at this moment in time, because I know how people think. I know how petty and pathetic people can be.
Yeah.
So this is how it boils down, and that is Richard Lewis cares about player welfare. Does he? Didn't care about player welfare while he was choking that guy. So because of that, and the fact people will say that, and people will push that agenda, and also as well the fact that there was a lot of Dota 2 elements that were originally talking to the CS:GO community of players and getting them to unionize effectively. And in fact, the original union for CS:GO, the closest thing we had to a players union, which was basically a Skype group between representatives of the elite level players, that was pretty much started by a Dota 2 player.
Yeah, and now you've sort of the moderates have risen up.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's no Dota 2 person's going to counsel a Counter-Strike player to trust me with anything. So obviously, it makes it incredibly difficult to sort of even think about being involved in a union right now. Also, as well, I mean, the question would be, if we do want to expand into all games, which of course would be the aim of a formalized esports union for players, or a players' association, which is what it would be primarily to begin with, is, let's say if Dota 2 people wanted to join, would their decision making be coloured by what happened and my reputation within that community now? What if Loader or any of the Alliance guys wanted to join? Is it appropriate that I'm involved if they join, given what's happened? Now, of course, I can say, in all honesty, it wouldn't affect me. And as I've said multiple times, I have no issues with Loader about what happened. I wholeheartedly apologize to him. I repeat that apology. He apologized to me. I think all things told, he came across as a pretty good guy, apart from the fact that he put it out there in the public domain, which I think we all could have done without. I don't think anyone's really benefited from that. But that doesn't make him a bad person any more than I'd like to think me going a little bit off the deep end, when presented with some hostility, makes me a bad person. But of course, within the context of a players' union, it does make it all now incredibly difficult, convoluted, and messy. Which is a shame, because I've actually put a lot of money into stuff.
Yeah.
To get it to
I think there is definitely a silver lining, though, which would be... Oh.
What's that?
I'm on the wrong one. Sorry, I was looking at the stream and I was seeing you talk. I thought I disconnected for some reason. My bad. So, so I think the silver lining, without a doubt, is that if you're less involved with the sort of the DreamHack, the ESL, and you're less involved with those titles, you're definitely able to be detached from that. And as someone in a player union, I think having affiliations directly with those companies could potentially detract from that, as you're being hired by the people that potentially you could be, using certain things against. So I think, a slight detachment from that could absolutely be beneficial, even if in the grand scheme of things it isn't optimal. If you see what I mean.
Yeah, perhaps. The problem you've got here is that obviously all I could really do would, from a legal perspective, would be an advocate or a representative.
Yeah.
That was basically what I was going to do primarily anyway. And that was sit down with players that had issues, find out what the issue was, break the issues down, make some notes, and then either act as a mediator between an organization, an employer, a league, or whatever it was, or if it was appropriate, refer it to a legal advisor, an accountant, whoever had the requisite levels of expertise. That was ultimately what I was going to do, and of course, it was all going to be handled confidentially. But again, now, even though I don't believe it would affect the vast majority of the Counter-Strike community, who've all known me many, many years. And I don't think it would really affect the League of Legends community either. There is still this idea of public perceptions. And there's a lot of press that are going to be they're going to be monitoring what I'm doing next.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to imagine a headline, along the lines of psychopathic esports journalist founds player union, the strangler of Jan Sherping. Yeah, and I do find it a bit odd, like that people would want to do that. But I'm just being preemptive. I just know enough about people that that's what's going to happen. So the only way I could be involved now would be like 6 months would be a fucking real generous amount of time. Like this is never going to go away. This is the worst thing about it. It's like, whenever you Google Richard Lewis now, it's even going to replace the Reddit ban, which was, of course, predicated on bullshit. So, you now, and then people even started digging up stuff in my past history. Like, I got asked to leave an I-series once. Yes, I did. Yes, that was over a tweet as well. Yes, these things happen. Like, it's kind of weird that everybody would want to, really... I know it's like when you do like over a 10-year span, I don't know, let's say once every 2 years, I've had some sort of cataclysmic breakdown, stroke, fuck up, right? Where I've just had a meltdown because nobody should have to live with this sort of degree of scrutiny and be surrounded by the level of idiocy that you are on a daily basis in esports. And when you do it for a long time, it does send you a bit batty, frankly. But anyway, nobody talks about all the other stuff that's punctuating along the way. Now it just becomes about that. So it does make it really difficult. I'm not saying it's the death of the union, but I mean, I might have to
in the wrong direction.
even if I do set it up, I might have to hand things over a lot quicker than I would have done ordinarily.
But there is still, and this was the second point I was going to make, there is still the possibility of the talent union. And as you know, obviously I'm making my roots at becoming a caster. Hopefully, I'm currently speaking with someone, but hopefully going to be doing something to do with the I-Series coming up in December. But then, that's all in the works. But obviously I'm at no level where a union would benefit me at this point. But you can definitely still be in that, because I don't think anyone from the talent perspective would have anything against you, unless
this is the thing. Obviously, even the unfortunate nature of the incident, casting a shadow sort of over the event. I mean, all the talent are certainly very much in my corner on this, in the sense that hasn't affected their thoughts about me or my level of standing with them, and to talk about some of the stuff that goes on behind the scenes. Very often when there's any issues with events, which some events there are issues. Sometimes you're working in really bad conditions. I could think of some events where no food, no water. I mean, water is a must because you're using your voice all the time. Obviously, huge delays, constantly filling. So you end up working like a 15, 16-hour day. Then you've got a super early call time because everyone needs to set up the sound and do the lighting and stuff. So maybe you get like 4 hours sleep, and then it's the same shit again. And then you get another 4 hours sleep. And by the third day of an event, you're running on a massive sleep deficit. You haven't had any good food. Everyone's super frustrated. And what I usually do is I'm usually the guy that goes around and sort of, keeps that gallows humor up there. We're in the trenches, guys. Like, and that's what I do with all of the talent. So they know that obviously when we've been in shit positions before, and people haven't had a good time in an event, I'm usually the guy that's going around trying to G everyone up and keep the spirits up. So I know all the guys that I work with, obviously, still think highly of me, and I think we will see a talent union because of the reasons that I've talked about. And that is, on top of the issue of just working conditions at an event, where it's only recently that we've even been able to say, you know what, we need you guys to start hiring more talent so we can start rotating people out at breaks. Because typically you would just do a full day show. And when you're the host, obviously you don't get there's nowhere to go. You can't replace the host.
Yeah.
So the host doesn't really get a break. But no one did before. Now we're at a point where people are getting breaks. But the real issue is that it's the money, it's the pay. For what people do and for how many hours they put in, the money's not great at all. And different people get different amounts of money. Some people don't get what they're worth, market value. No one talks about what they earn because everyone's encouraged not to. People will pay you something and go, but that's you're getting paid the most at the event. So don't tell anyone about that, because it might upset a few people. And then when you eventually do tell people about it, you're like, well, I'm getting paid the fucking least. What the fuck is this? So, everyone gets fucking gamed. So we need to have like increased communication.
Yeah.
And we need to start making what we're owed. I mean, I said next year anyway, there was going to be some events I was going to cut out. And ultimately I wanted to do something like half the events I did this year, but I was going to double my fee. Because it's really not worth it in the grand scheme of things, especially when you've got a day job and an event takes like 1 day travel, then 2 to 3 days of work, another day's travel, and then I got to cram like a 5-day working week into the 2 remaining days. So So I mean, there's definitely lots of stuff there that needs to be done, but I think the talent union is going to be a very real thing in 2016.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the only unless they're sort of employed by ESL or the certain companies, the only sort of group would be Anders and Semler with On Fire. That's the only. Yeah, everyone else is freelance.
Yeah, I mean everyone else is freelance, but here's the thing: we've all been sat down and we're all looking at how many broadcasting days there's going to be of Counter-Strike next year, and I think ESL alone has something like 220 days out of a 365-day year.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, then you add a DreamHack tour in with qualifiers. You add Gfinity. You add MLG are going to be back now. PGL. You add the ESL, ESEA Pro League. Obviously, that's factored in, but obviously now you've got the ESEA stuff on top of that. So I don't know if that's factored in to the original 220. Then you got the Turner League, which is like 20 weeks.
Yeah.
Where people have to dedicate their time. And it's going to work out that you're basically going to have like 2.5 years worth of days where Counter-Strike's going to be broadcast and people are going to be clashing. And there's not enough talent to go around if everybody wants to hire the same faces for everything. So we're going to have to, Star Ladder as well. They've got a massive league coming.
Yeah.
So what we need to do is we need to figure out a way that we can all become sort of part of some group. And what it is you hire the group, and the group sends out the talent to each gig as appropriate. And the developing talent get the slightly smaller leagues, but they're still being looked after and represented by the bigger group who can say, look, if you give them this opportunity, we can guarantee you an Anderson Semler or whatever for your finals, and we'll make it work somehow. But you've got to give these guys the opportunity because we want to give them a push because they're part of the group. So things like this will definitely happen. There will be bargaining next year, but it's all up in the air. Nothing's really decided yet. Nobody knows how it's going to work or who's going to be involved. But I think the most important thing is, in the same way I tell players, you're stronger together. You need to stand together. It's the same for talent. In StarCraft especially, I've seen a lot of cutthroat bullshit in the past where talent tries to undercut one another, tries to take each other's work, is super disrespectful of each other. It's great when you're on top. It's great when a scene's got more work than you can turn down. It becomes majorly problematic when the gigs start drying up.
Yeah.
So we need to be together now. So we can secure a better future for everyone and more gigs and more money for everybody. And we all get along well as friends. No one's looking to fuck each other over.
Yeah, and I think that's definitely something we're very lucky with in CSGO. Is a good community. In my opinion, obviously, I'm only seeing it from the surface value. But with the Eternal League, go on. With the Eternal League specifically, are they sort of hoping to have their own sort of on-house casters as sort of ESL do?
All I know so far about the Eternal League is that they want to do a proof of concept kind of show.
Yeah.
Where they're going to bring in talent that they think can work and do the broadcast as they think it'll be for 20 weeks. So they're going to do like not like an audition or a dry run or something. I don't know who the talent's going to be. I've said it. I think it'd be criminal if casters-wise, Anderson Semler and James and DDK didn't make it on TV.
Yeah, but is it realistic for them to be doing this weekly thing?
Those people have to be on TV.
But would it be realistic for them to be doing sort of an every week sort of show?
Well, I mean,
after they've already got Face It and whatnot.
I mean, the money will be good. Everyone will have to sort of make it work because who's going to say no to the opportunity to be on American television?
Yeah,
I'm definitely not going to do that. If they come calling to me, and if they say we want you to do it, then I'll definitely take that. No matter what gigs. In the meantime, well, I don't really have to worry about it quite so much now, anyway. But my calendar's opened up mysteriously. But I wouldn't, if the Eternal League comes in, then obviously I think most people are going to go for that because that represents a big opportunity, the type of opportunity you're not going to get anywhere else.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Wow. Great.
So, any other questions?
You know, Rich, as always, I'll keep it short, keep it concise. That was great. Cheers, mate.
All right, no worries, brother. Best luck with the casting. I promise once all this drama dies down, I'm going to review those links you sent me.
No worries.
And
also,
I'll give you some feedback. I'll pass it on to the boys as well.
Nice. And anyone British out there, tune into the JGL every week. All right, you can catch me right there with my beautiful mic. All right. Thanks, Sam. Thanks, Rich. And
no worries, mate. You look after yourself.
Cheers, guys.
Take care, brother. So there you go. I think they're all interesting questions. I mean, look, you know as well as I do, Sam, that like talent, like okay. I think what we've established is that if you don't own something, if the only thing you own is yourself, if the only thing you own is your labor and your work, be it as talent, be it as a player, be it as a journalist, you get fucked basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Or at least you get a 10.
You can identify. You can identify.
Yeah.
Look at you. You're a producer. All you can sell is, you know, hey, I did these overlays. I did these overlays, and I can queue up a few YouTube videos in a row. Yeah. Sometimes, not always.
Sadly,
in the
thing
right
you
order.
Can't do, mate.
Yeah, I can't, mate. I'm too old.
Exactly.
Too old, mate. Old dogs, new tricks. Doesn't work, does it?
I'm in a golden era right now, mate. I'm getting showered with jobs. I'm amongst it, mate. I'm deep in these streets.
Yeah, well, what did I tell you when we started this show? I said, stick with me, kid.
And I'll bum you.
And I'll make you a big shining star. Just like at the end of Boogie Nights, where Dirk Diggler is just stroking his massive but flaccid member in the mirror, going up a bright shining star.
Fucking hell.
Shining star. So that's what I've done to you, basically.
You need to go to bed, man.
You need to you need to put your Dirk Diggler away. So anyway, so what do you think about the idea of a talent union?
I think I was going to say something that shouldn't be public. I think after recent events, I think talent are getting tired of being treated like shit now and realizing that doing 8 hours of overtime every day and getting paid the same amount is probably bullshit. So I think they're on the edge of right now of making it. I think it's going to be you who has to push them into it, though, mate. I think everyone's a bit too timid. They'll have to take the charge.
I think that's one thing I can't be accused of.
What?
But yeah, but look, it is shit. Like, and it sucks, man. Like, I don't want to rag on anybody, but and also as well, for someone who used to work as a fucking plasterer's assistant, as a fucking roofer, you know, as a fucking labourer
as well, mate. Back in the day,
right?
Pre-fat.
Did I ever tell you about the worst job I had?
No.
I used to work on a farm, right?
Right.
Killing chickens.
Oh yeah, you did tell me. Yeah.
With my bare hands for £3 an hour, mate.
Sound.
I was like the Adolf Hitler of the chicken world.
More than I got paid labouring, mate. I got paid like 20 quid a day.
Well, you weren't killing chickens with your bare hands, were you? So, like, the job was unreal. So, you came into this farm, and obviously, all the chickens are just out running around. And what you have to do is you come into them, and obviously, I'm not saying chickens recognise me, but they obviously knew I was bad news. They obviously knew I was bad news. And then you have to get a chicken, and then you get another one. You get 2 at a time because that's the most efficient way of doing it. And then you got to you got to crank them. You got to crank them like a football rattle, so their body weight goes the wrong way over the neck, and it just goes and kills them. You do it with the other one, right? And then you have to walk through all the screaming chicken and give them to this guy, a guy called Chris in my case, and we all used to nickname him Psycho. And what his job was, he used to have to sort of do a quick pluck and knife the chicken and sort of flick all the guts out and then throw it into a bin or whatever the fuck he was doing. and he was fucked in the head. He used to just
Really, mate?
no. He was really fucked in the head though. He was really fucked in the head. He used to just whisper to himself things like, "I just like watching the knife go in."
No way.
Yeah, for real, dude. All fucking real. All fucking real. No, serious. It's all fucking legit. It's all legit, mate. My life's been a shambles from start to finish. You know that,
Big
right?
Christmas.
So like I couldn't handle it because like, okay, so I'm not vegetarian, but I don't like cruelty to animals, and even though I was killing farm animals, I could sort of rationalize it, you know. I could sort of rationalize it, but then like. Used to catch the other guys doing like crazy shit, like playing heads and volleys with a live chicken and that. Yeah, I thought I can't work here anymore, mate.
Fucking hell.
So I quit after a couple of months, you know.
A couple of months. There was only so many months I could play heads and volleys. Like after a while, you know, going all covered in blood.
It was about
kicks in.
It's about 6-7 weeks. That's it.
So many years you can play heads and volleys with chickens.
You gotta give any job a bit of time.
Nah, mate.
You can't just turn up. Yeah, sound like you know what the job is when you quit it. You can't like, oh, I've seen the grim fucking reality of it. You know.
I would have just pieced
so.
it. Well, £3 now is what probably would have gone more than a doll, mate. Should have stuck to.
Yeah, well. Yeah, probably. And then I had another fucking shit job as well. This was in Wales. I used to work in a chip shop,
right.
A Welsh chip shop, right?
So bad.
Well, no, it doesn't sound so bad, right? But then, okay, so I used to have to get up at like I don't know something fucking stupid, like 5 a.m. Right?
What? Who's having chips to set at 5 a.m, mate?
No, because you got to do the prep. So the prep was getting up at 5 a.m. having a jog down a fucking Lloyd's fish and chip shop, right? The most imaginatively titled fish and chip shop in the fucking history of the Wales. Then come down and have to pick up like the massive sacks of spuds, you know, the ones that are about the same size as me.
10 kilogram sack.
Get them up the stairs, and then we'd fucking put them all in a bath, like just an old bath, like full of water. And then you have to get in, and you have to get all the roots and eyes out, you know, all the fucking bits, like, and all the brown bits out, and then do like a basic peel, and then you drop them in something called a rumbler, which is basically like a side-on tumble dryer or washing machine.
Yeah.
And it takes all the topsoil and all the loose bits of skin off. You get all the bad bits off, and that does the rest. But it doesn't end there. Then you've got to put them into the chipper. Now, the chipper looks like a fucking trap out of Indiana Jones, right? It's all just blades. Huge, incredibly sharp blades. Yeah. And you have to drop the potatoes in, and the blades are like all interlacing. So it's like shing, 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 and it just slices them as they drop through. But occasionally what would happen is there would be that one whole potato would get stuck in the side, and it would go like, and you'd have to like stick your fucking fingers in, like trying to nudge the potato out the way, like just narrowly missing all your wrists and that. Like we're fucking savage. Then you get all the chips, right? And this is the best bit. What people don't know is you put them in a bin full of water, and in the water you put in this bleaching agent, right? Bleach, powdered bleach. Stop them turning brown, yeah. And it's called Stay White. Stay White, it's called. And it's a chemical, man. Like you're meant to fucking, and obviously Mr. Lloyd like wouldn't give me a fucking mask. I accidentally inhaled some once, and like I couldn't smell or taste for like 4 days. It was unreal. That stuff is fucking lethal. But anyway, and then you soak them in that bleach, and then when the time is ready, you drain the whoever's frying them drains the water off and chucks them in the fryer. And I had to do like about, I don't know, 8 bins worth.
Yeah, shit job.
It was fucking shit. It was shit. And the worst part was he was such a tight, miserable bastard. Like, right, so you're chipping all the roots and brown bits off, and obviously chucking them on the floor. And he'd come up to me, right, and even though these bits were fucking inedible, you wouldn't feed them to a fucking rat. You know what I mean? He'd pick them up off the floor and he'd go, "You know what that is, don't you?" It's a pile of manky potato, mate. 50 pence, that butt. 50 pence. I was eating into his profits, like.
Get a bit of
Fuck that
potatoes then, Lloyd.
Fuck that job, mate. So yeah, so I've had some shit jobs.
Mine was a straight labouring. We're not bad. Just grim.
Yeah. So there you go. I don't know why we got onto that.
Big esports show.
Don't know why we shit job. But okay, it's a terrible show anyway. It's just no one listens to this. But yeah, so there you go. They bleach potatoes.
Well, they used to. I don't know if that still works.
Wasn't that long ago?
I mean, it was deep in the streets, mate. Was that 10 years?
It was
15?
probably this century. Yeah. It was this century.
Well done, mate. Right, you ready for another call?
Yeah, fuck it, let's go.
Right. Now, this guy, I don't know if you remember this guy from ages and ages ago. Must have been like August or something last year. His name was Logan. And, was it? Yeah, I think it was no, it must have been February or something. February this year. Do you remember ages ago we brought on Logan Mahoney? And
Yeah,
he was
I remember
our
Logan.
first
Of course I
big
remember.
caller, like. And he's back, mate.
Yeah, he was a legend.
He's back
Where's
7
he
or 8
been?
months later. No idea, mate. We'll have to find out now. But he wants to
find
talk
out.
about the Fnatic roster issues, and he said one of the reasons why Fnatic might not be able to pay is because they bought out Funk, the mouse company, FUNC. They bought them out, so they must have bought them out to make their own gear. So apparently that might be why they haven't got any cash. So big Logan Mahoney, mate.
Logan up. Hello, Logan.
He's not here, mate. There he is.
Here he is. Can you hear me, Logan?
Hello. How's it going?
Hello. Has the great one returned?
Yo, he's back, boys.
There we go. That's my Logan. Where the fuck have you been, brother?
I'm just fucking lurking, dude. I get real nervous calling in, so I don't.
That doesn't sound right. You don't strike me as a nervous guy. Oh, hello? You still there?
He's having a DC. Logan, you there, mate? No, he's gone, mate. He's gone. He's cock teased us and he's gone.
Oh, no.
Mad blue balls in us, mate. Oh, he's gone.
Let's get him back.
He's come
Get him
and
back.
stroked my knob and walked off.
Get him back.
The worst
Get him back.
kind.
Call him back. Call him back.
Logan?
You put it this way. You don't get Richard Lewis hard and then fuck off. Come on.
Logan?
Hello?
There he's back. Oh, he's gonna
Hey,
be
Logan.
out.
There you go.
Hello.
There we go.
You
See
cut
what I
out,
mean?
brother. I don't know if... Are you driving or something? What the fuck are you doing?
Yo, I don't know what to say, man. I'm fucking fucked right now. Can you hear me? Is it okay?
Out of his mind.
Yeah.
Sound.
I can hear you.
Having a bit of a
Right.
Quas moment, you know?
Right. Well, come on then. Tell me where you've been. Tell me what you've been doing with your
I don't
life
know.
since February.
I just work and go to school and look at the esports drama. It's been pretty crazy this weekend, as you might have heard. So, I don't know. Then
Yeah.
you
And the bare
talked
weed
about
part.
Fnatic a little bit, and I don't think I've ever. I only talk Colin whenever I feel like people aren't bringing up something that's important to a subject. And people keep talking about the Fnatic roster moves and how, it seems so weird that a successful organization like Fnatic doesn't have enough money to field successful rosters like with players like Huni and Reignover. And it's like their championships CSGO team, they're arguably top 2 or the most popular CSGO team, in my opinion. And they have probably one of the most successful Western rosters for League of Legends, and they couldn't afford to keep 2 players who fucking carried them to semifinals at Worlds. And people really aren't talking about Fnatic gear, which is, I don't know if people remember Funk. Funk is like a really old company that was one of the first ones that was like for hardcore gamers, or people didn't talk about it in the old days as esports, but it was just like for competitive gaming, for hardcore gaming. And they came back recently and they were sponsoring teams like Tempo Storm, but they didn't have a huge presence, but they had carved out like a little niche. And then recently Fnatic announced that they didn't say it. I don't know. It's been like mentioned in some interviews that they acquired Funk, the company, and now they've just pretty much rebranded all their gear as Fnatic gear. It's not like they've made breakthrough technology or anything. They took their existing product line and then rebranded it under Fnatic. And you know, I can't imagine that as an esports team acquiring a peripheral company, you know, is cheap. I feel like that had to be costly, and that's probably the source of some of these issues with the roster salary issues.
It's interesting, because I hadn't thought about that, because the thing that really leapt out for me about this was that they had an Indiegogo page.
Can we talk about how fucking shady this is? The Indiegogo page?
Yeah. Well,
like,
of course we can. I've been holding my tongue about this because I just knew it was just going to trigger everyone if I brought this up. But this is an Indiegogo page for a company, right? To an already existing and liquid company to put out peripherals. And yeah, I gotta say I wasn't overly impressed. And so far it's $202,750 in terms of backing.
And it's 547 backers. That means you've got an average of $370 per backer. I don't know about you, but I don't know too many people who have been like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go out and contribute a couple $100s to Fnatic to start a mouse and keyboard company. So
yeah. Well, I mean, what's your thought on that? First of all, let's talk about the Indiegogo. What do you think about that?
It's like, to me, like, it's total bullshit. Of course, anyone who's a fan of esports will see this and just call it out immediately, because one of the fucking banners on their Indiegogo page says it's like the first company for esports by esports, designed specifically for esports, and that's a fucking joke, because that's what every single one of these companies says. And Fatality, you know, like, this isn't like a new thing. Fatality's been around for like 10 years, and he started making like equipment designed specifically for gaming, and you know that in itself is a bit of a marketing bullshit. You know, it's just high performance computer equipment. It's not like it's perfectly fine tuned for, you know, video games.
Yeah. I mean, I like to say, when I saw it announced, I just didn't know how to feel about it. But what made me, I was gonna be like, okay, I'm ambivalent. There's no need to go on about it. But then Fnatic said, we're crowdfunding the new line because it allows them to cut out retailers and charge lower prices. So it says, crowdfunding is very powerful. This is a quote from Fnatic directly. Crowdfunding is very powerful because it allows us to have a close, connected relationship with our customers and community, something that is often hard if you only go the traditional route, which is through big distributors/retailers. It also allows us to charge lower prices if we can establish this relationship direct to our consumers. Well, that sounds like a lot of bullshit to me. That makes no fucking logical sense.
Yeah.
You know, I don't really get that as the reason to crowdfund. And I guess it all comes back to your original point, which is, have Fnatic maybe overstretched to buy the infrastructure to sell peripherals, thinking that long term this is going to make them a wealthy organization, but in the short term they're going to have to scrimp and save on other things like talent.
Yeah, I don't dislike that they're making this move. I just still dislike like how fucking cheap it is. Like how they're not being real. That's just my thing. Like, it doesn't feel authentic. It feels totally bullshit, and like they're just trying to make a money grab. Like, yeah, I support an esports organization trying to, you know, increase their sources of revenue and become like a long-term sustainable company, but you know, their Fnatic Gear Twitter page has 531 followers, and they have almost the same amount of backers for $200,000. It just feels like, you know, they went out and they're like, oh yeah, this is the best way to make publicity and PR about this, and maybe it'll, you know, get potential investors or something like that interested in our company. And I don't know, they're just fucking shady. I feel like they've just gone and they funded it themselves. Like, 'cause I don't really know any. I know it's only 547 backers. So I just don't see anyone talking about it, any interested about it. It just seems like they're just doing this for the PR, and then you can't. I don't feel like you can't go out on like Reddit and Twitter after this as Fnatic and say, "Oh yeah, we're interested in becoming the championship team," when you're not interested in keeping your players who took you to the semifinals of Worlds. You know, it's just bullshit.
Here's where it gets even more interesting, Logan. So we know they acquired an existing company. We know that they've done crowdfunding as well. And on top of that, these peripherals are, and I don't really get this, they're co-branded with SteelSeries.
I didn't know that. That's fucking weird.
Is that right? Is that right?
I don't.
Or is this, or is this the end of the SteelSeries sponsorship?
I feel like
because
that has
I don't
to be
see how you can make your own range. Like if you go to Fnatic, yeah, they've still got SteelSeries on the website, right?
Let's see.
In fact, no, they don't anymore. Sorry, that's my bad.
That's gone.
So
yeah.
it looks like, yeah. So it looks like the SteelSeries sponsorship's gone. Because that was what I was going to ask. How could they be sponsored by any other peripheral company and make their own peripherals? But obviously the SteelSeries relationship has ended. And that's like a really long-standing relationship they've had. So that's interesting right there.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're both Swedish-based companies, something like that. They feel like they had to be kind of close. And one thing that the title for the Fnatic, or for the interview at esportsobserver.com was the CEO said, "We want to be the lifestyle brand for esports." So I mean, he's pretty much going straight at every single peripheral company, like Razer, SteelSeries, Final Mouse, all those kinds of guys. Like, you're pretty much saying, "Yeah, I want to crush you and dominate the market if you want to be the lifestyle brand." And it's also funny to me that a team wants to be the lifestyle brand for the entire sport, which is kind of a joke.
Yeah. Also, as well, it's got to be noted that whereas a lot of Indiegogo campaigns, they have the option where if they don't hit a goal, all the money gets refunded to everybody, which to me seems the ethical way of doing something, because you say, we need X amount to do this. If you don't raise X amount, you don't do it. But what Fnatic have done is they've done the flexible campaign, which is even if you don't reach the target goal, you just keep the money anyway and say close enough. That's good.
Give me the loot.
So yeah, it's all a bit strange. And I saw that there's an interview that was done at the end of November in esportsobserver.com where the CEO Walter Schleifers is talking about how they want to be a lifestyle brand for esports. I mean, I can't help but feel like all of this is detracting from the bread and butter of just having good teams and being successful. And they've had unprecedented levels of success lately due to some fortunate acquisitions and some good scouting. You know, they took the gamble on, Huni, for example, in the League of Legends team. They took the gamble on the Olaf Meister and Krims duo from LGB. This is, how they've made their name. And now it kind of feels that we're in a position where maybe they're going to take their eye off the ball and Fnatic could be in decline. So it's a bit strange. It all strikes me as a bit odd.
Yeah, I just wanted people to bring that up whenever they talk about Fnatic now, because you can't just sit there and like, oh, how did if they perform well next year, more power to them. They've done great. They made a good decision. But if they're not doing well, I mean, if people are like, man, I can't believe Fnatic would make such a dumb decision. It's not really a dumb decision. It's just very risky that they've decided to split their resources like that. If that's what they had to do, decide like, oh, do we keep these players who are really good and keep us in the LCS and take us to Worlds again next year, or do we invest in a mouse and keyboard company and try to increase our revenue?
Yeah, I mean, again, and of course, the reality is, are they going to make more money in the immediate short term? Are they going to get a better turnover annually by having their own gear than what they would make from a traditional sponsorship like a SteelSeries, or anyone else, a Logitech, a Razer, whoever it would be? You know, because I've seen some of the deals that get signed. They're pretty fucking big. And if you're having to crowdfund your hardware, that doesn't necessarily suggest to me there's going to be a massive fucking market for it. Keep in mind as well that what they're effectively saying by doing this is our brand is bigger than any other 3 or 4 teams in CS:GO, for example. You know, if the Fnatic team advertising Fnatic branded gear and using Fnatic branded gear, which obviously they'd have to, right? Or that would be even more ridiculous. If your own players won't use the gear you've designed, that's a bit different to them being sponsored by Razer and not using it. It's your own gear. But, you know, like, you can have 4 or 5 Razer can go out and sponsor 4 or 5 teams. Logitech can go out and sponsor 4 or 5 teams. Their combined reach, you know, is huge. Fnatic can... no one's going to use Fnatic gear other than Fnatic because it's Fnatic branded. So, I don't know. Yeah, of course, go on.
Can the Fnatic players even stream on Twitch still? Like, weren't they on Azubu for a long-ass time or some shit like that? It's, like, super... Whew. Good luck to them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where they're at right now. I mean, I'm just looking at their sponsors here. Obviously, they're covering the bases. You know, they've got an energy drink. That's Monster. That's obviously very big. They got a monitor sponsor. That's BenQ. That's big. You know, they are now a Twitch partner, so there's that. They came back. I mean, Fnatic. You know, jumped around. They got a seat partner, that's at DX Seat. They got a fantasy gambling partner, that's Alpha Draft for the purveyors of Six Skrilla. But the one area that just seems a little bit weird is like their gear sponsor is themselves, and that there's no two ways about it. Long term, that might be a genius idea. Short term, that eats into your liquidity. Simple as that.
Yeah. So
I don't know, brother. I mean, I think that's the kind of move that isn't going to pay off for like 2 years or so, if that. And in the meantime, their brand could suffer because if they don't hold the talent and they start losing games, then obviously not many people are going to fanboy them. Let's be real here. How many people, when XPeke and Soaz left Fnatic, went and followed Origin? That's the reality about esports fans. They don't really support organizations. They support players. I mean, primarily, I'm generalizing, of course.
Yeah.
But in general, I think the majority of fans would rather follow a player than follow an org. Some people do it, the organization. But
well, it
again,
depends on the org, right?
Yeah, true. I mean,
like a CLG has
the organization. Yeah.
Complexity has Jason Lake. Temple Storm has Reynad.
Yeah, and Fnatic has, you know, Khan, who obviously has a connection to the old school, although I'd say that's perhaps a bit niche. But, the reality is that, you know, you'll always take a hit when you lose popular players. So this is a strange one for me. Yeah, really, really odd. And I hadn't even put it together myself, but I guess when you look at it, you look at them acquiring a company, you look at them making their own gear and therefore dropping a sponsor. And I just assumed that they were designing their own gear and still somehow maintaining this SteelSeries sponsorship, but obviously they're not. So I hadn't even noticed that. And then obviously they're crowdfunding as well, and they're losing all their top talent. The whole picture doesn't look very good. And I'm sure Fnatic, they need to have they need to bring some big names into the League of Legends team now, especially because otherwise it's going to be a tough season for them.
Right now, it seems like all their eggs are in the CS:GO basket. They're just hoping that Olaf Meister can keep doing what he did at DreamHack winner.
Yeah, well, I mean, let's not forget, their players have been. There was talk. I mean, there was a rumor circulating that Crims was going to retire. That must have been absolute bullshit, but that's what players were whispering about in the scene. Obviously, the JW thing was out there. That was definitely something that they had meetings about. So I think for the right price, I think Fnatic players can be bought because obviously of their ongoing, financial situation, which is they need to get liquid and maybe ride out a storm for like, a year, 2 years. But maybe they don't have great results. Maybe they don't have big names. But at least, I can admire what they're trying to do, trying to become a sustainable business with their own merchandise and their own products. I think it's a game changer, because if every organization could do that and you're not beholden to sponsors, all of a sudden that's, that makes that organization very powerful indeed. But it's going to be an uphill struggle to get there.
Well, thanks for taking my call, Richard.
Hey, Logan, anytime, brother. I mean, I hope school's going well and all that other shit. And I hope you're still getting dank weed. I suspect some might have come your way recently. But just look after yourself and make sure you call in again sometime.
Will do. Thank you, Richard.
Anyways, look after yourself, brother. Peace out. So there you go, the legendary Logan. Still
Logan
a smart
returns,
motherfucker.
mate.
Yeah, I'm glad I haven't had a call from him in a while. Like.
That's 2 out of 2 so far.
2 out of 2. 2 out of 2. I know, it's all been a bit sensible, hasn't it?
Oh.
It's all been a bit sensible. But like, I got to say, Fnatic hemorrhaging all these players. You lose Huni, you lose Rainover, now you lose Yellow Star. It's a tough fucking season coming up. And don't get me wrong, fair enough. We said this before when they lost all the players they lost the first time around, but lightning ain't going to strike twice. Is it?
Mate. Who knows?
Nah, they're not going to be able to pick up a bunch of rookies.
They still have Forbidden. They still have Reckless at the moment. It's not like they've been left with nothing, mate.
No, it's not. It's not nothing. But that's real talk now as well. Like, Reckless is a phenomenal talent, but Yellow Star was making that lane.
Maybe. I don't know, mate.
No, not
good enough to know, 100%.
Really. No, he definitely was. He was. I think most people would agree with that. Even with my fucking limited grasp of what was going on, fucking Yellow Star was the fucking boy. Like, he was just a playmaking support, wasn't he?
The boy, like he's a fucking boy.
Yeah.
He's the fucking
he's a
boy.
fucking boy, but
straight juicing, but he's a fucking boy.
Yeah. So you think about how good Yellow Star was. You lose him. I think Reckless is going to need like a top tier support to come in, and equally, it's going to be in the back of his mind as well. Like, nobody wants to go from playing with a godlike support to playing with a fucking shit support. You ask Forgiven about that.
Yeah, sure.
Does your fucking head in? That's why he lost all that hair.
Just ripped it out. Playing solo queue, man.
Yeah, just the fucking straight frustration of having to play alongside some of the supports he's had to. So, I don't know, man. I'm not worried about Fnatic, because I think, like, there's so much other shit going on in Europe. Like, Rockat's in fucking turmoil at the moment. That was the other thing we didn't talk about. My report over on Breitbart. So I'll bring that up now. Fuck it. Why not?
Big report.
Big report on Breitbart, my right-wing conservative publication that employ me despite knowing that not only am I a purveyor of magic mushrooms and dogs. Dogs?
Sorry?
Sorry, I opened up the tab with the word dog on it. Dogs. I think I'm mushrooms now. I read what was on my... Instead of saying what was in my brain.
I am a contributor of dogs and shrooms.
Drugs.
There we go.
Drugs, that's what I meant to say, not dogs. Fucking hell.
Fuck dogs, not evil.
When you say the word drugs. Anyway, purveyor of drugs and dogs. I like dogs. I've got nothing against dogs.
Dags, mate.
Never had a job killing dogs for £3 an hour.
Yeah, that was free, that wasn't it? That was just my spare time.
So, anyway, the report was that Roccat are going to have Jeebus and Edward as their bot lane. And they've lost their entire team, pretty much, Roccat.
Age.
Looks like Nuke Duck's out now as well.
Steve! What's the word on Steve, mate?
Steve?
Yeah, Roccat Steve.
What about Steve?
Rockat's top laner was called Steve.
Oh, yeah. Fuck,
Is
I
he
just
even
wonder what
still
you're on
playing?
about.
I don't even know if he is. Let's have a Google.
Go on.
Steve.
Go on.
Steve.
How the fuck do you Google, like, Steve?
Yeah.
Anyway, point
He's
is,
still in, man.
the
Steve's
coach is
still in.
out. Their entire team is out. Now people are talking that Nuke Duck's out.
Steve's in.
There's a rumor going around that they're going to replace him with Betsy. So, I mean, it doesn't matter what Fnatic do. There's going to be bigger shit shows going on in the European League.
Yeah.
So,
Steve's still out, mate. Steve will hold them together.
you won't, man. You won't.
Big Steve.
But what do you think of that? What do you think of that bot lane, Jeebus and Edward? I think Edward's going to go fucking crazy.
No idea, to be honest, man. I literally I've never seen Jeebus play. I have no idea. Might be sound.
So
might
upsetting.
be not
Can you,
sound.
like, as you're scrolling down, it's got a picture of my article, my name, and then Dick Cheney. It's just too much, that, isn't it? Yeah. Dick fucking Cheney. My personal hero, obviously. Can't stand Dick Cheney. But anyway, so Edward's going to go crazy if he couldn't cope with Cop. How the fuck's he going to cope with Jeebus, who's never been tested at LCS level before?
So, could be sound, could be not sound, mate. That's my professional opinion.
You got to watch Roccat, man. That's like going to be the fucking. That's going to be the either like it's just going to all work against the odds and it's going to be hilarious, or it is going to be an absolute show.
Yeah.
So
Much
anyway,
like League of Legends
another
in
call.
general. Yep. One more call, go bed.
What, you knackered here?
No, just joking, man. Right, so I'll lift them off to you again, like always. Right, this guy's fully chimping out. I don't even know that this guy sent me 12 messages. Right. Oh, mate, right. I'm just gonna read. This guy sends me a ridiculous amount of messages. You'll enjoy this now, mate. Let me dig him up.
Good one.
His name is Jonathan Stone, right? So he's just sent me. He's quoted 400 times. He said, "Clown Fiesta. Is today the day? My topic is I have received 12,000 game chat ban, toxicity permaban. Copy and paste that quote over and over again. Spams it. Smiley face. Kappa. 12,000 chat ban. Let me on. I want to talk about Riot Korea shit and how Riot is killing games. PogChamp show starting. Copy paste. I want to talk about Riot. Blah, blah, blah. Is there a queue? So I gotta wait another week. Question mark. What must I do to call in? 12,000 chat games. Am I spamming too much? Should bring him on for a laugh.
Yeah, why not, mate? Sounds like he's got the interpersonal skills to be on this show.
Right, he's in. Joshua Stone, mate. You better answer this time. Still trying to shine, or you're never coming on. Yo,
hello, Josh Stone. Joshua Stone. Are you with us, Josh Stone?
Mate. He's messaged me for 3 weeks in a row, spamming me 400 messages.
Josh Stone.
People are raging. Is Joshua Stone someone we know? Oh, he's online. He's coming in. Oh, call failed. Oh.
All failed, mate. He's done. He's missed his chance, I think.
Dunzo, get him out.
Dunzo. Yeah, he's linked. He's had enough.
He just said he's here now.
He's had enough.
You're too late, mate. You missed.
Well,
missed it. That's
too late, mate. That's how talk radio works, buddy.
Right,
see you in another 3 months. So, who were the other calls?
Right, a guy called Parker said, just to mention, I'm on drugs. And I wanted to discuss drugs use at US lands and the recent Vice article. So he's always a contender there.
Yeah, he's a contender, but also, I mean, that's like, I want to talk about this new musical movement called grunge. Yeah, all right, mate. It's kind of missed the boat a little bit, really, I think.
Guy called Tiger Joseph has just said, oi, ciao.
Oi? Oi backing him.
I'll say, boys. There we go, man. Fucking hell. Why does it feel like high-quality journalists and presenters such as Richard and Thorin and Monty feel like they're being forced out of their respective esports? That one?
I guess it's a topic. Might be a little bit close to the Dream Act nonsense. Right. But all right, fuck it.
Him?
Let's do that.
Him or better drugs?
Yeah, so Nah, definitely him. Fuck bear drugs.
Parky
I
big
want
drugs.
because I want to talk about them. I want to talk about the Monty thing specifically because we haven't talked about the Monty thing.
Okay, his name's Johnny, mate. Here's Johnny.
Your crack is shit.
Oh, he's had a bit of wind.
Hey, Richard.
Hey, Johnny. How you doing, buddy? See, that's what we want when we let people call in.
What,
you know,
reply?
bright-eyed.
Of course, mate. I've been looking forward to it.
Yeah, excellent. Well, I'm glad to hear it. So, you want to talk about how people are sort of being marginalised and pushed out of esports, in particular Thorin and Monty. I'll recuse myself from the conversation. If you want to bring me up and give examples, you can. But obviously, I want to stress this one is kind of my fault a little bit.
All I'm going to say is I'm supporting you, Richard. Of course. Don't worry about it. You'll do fine, as you always do. But my big problem is like, especially on the the Riot side of things, is that they seem to force out people who aren't quick shot and like just pieces of like shit, basically. And then when it comes to Thorin, someone who has like so much talent both within LoL in his research and in CS:GO, he doesn't seem to get either enough events, or like he doesn't get the deserved sort of limelight that he does for the amount of skill that he has.
It's a tough one. I mean, first thing I'll say is, obviously, I know Trevor, I know Quickshot. He's a lovely guy. I know a lot of people don't like what he does on a broadcast, but I'm a respecter of his talent and ability. I will say that. But obviously, you don't have to agree. And this is Trash Talk after all, so you are free.
I feel like the way that the Riot employs their own casters, they're very polished in a way that sort of, I don't know. I've come to expect esports to be a little bit more gritty instead of seeing your normal sports where they're sort of on their best behavior. I want to see a little bit of rawness, a little bit of like truth. But now it feels like with most LoL games, it's sort of just becoming disgustingly clean. I don't know. That's my opinion.
Yeah, but I mean, it was always going to be like that. And if you've even listened to some of the early casts compared to the casts that you have now, that was just there's been this trend towards this. It's not even PG-13. I mean, it's more fucking universal. It's all ages, and that's fine if that's the product you want to market. I think it needs to be a little bit more adult than that. I would say that about any esport. I don't think you can sanitize it too much because, of course, there's no sanitizing real sports. And if you think about some of the things that do go on behind the scenes, that are unavoidable to discuss. How if your broadcasts aren't adult, how could you ever bring anything adult into the broadcast? So, for example, we've had match fixing in CS:GO. Well, we've actually been able to talk about that in our broadcasts. If a team was found guilty in League of Legends of fixing matches, you would read about it in magazines. You would, read Reddit posts about it. You would read tweets about it. But when it came to the official broadcast, it would be, and of course, this team aren't going to be playing in the tournament anymore. And then they would brush over everything else because that's just how they like it. They don't want to warp any fragile little minds. Now, tying in to what you're talking about, which is the introduction of talent that might be a little bit adult, might make some references that people don't get. I can definitely understand why a Riot broadcast, for example, the LCS broadcast I'm talking about here, wouldn't want Thorin on there. I think it's silly, but as we found out last night when we did By the Numbers, you're never far from a sodomy joke. It's just, there is going to be a reference to anal rape at some point. It's going to come up. And obviously, it's adult humor. We're all grown up. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't trigger anybody. And I find, frankly, the idea of getting triggered by jokes such as that, I do find it nonsensical. But of course, that would never fly in the LCS. That would never fly in the LCS. Now, where it gets problematic for me is the fact that I think one or two of those jokes would fly on an ESL broadcast. Most recently, we even saw, OJ Berg, the man who said family show, which he gets quoted at all the time. he made a joke about fucking someone's mother, which again, I have to stress, can have consequences. These things can have consequences. So, if that's the case, then ESL, great. Get Thorin on ESL for League of Legends. Well, first of all, obviously there's the existing problem with ESL. But even if that didn't exist, they would not be he wouldn't be allowed. He wouldn't be allowed because Riot would veto it. And Riot have this influence over ESL when it comes to talent hires that even expands into other games. So that's the worrying thing. That Riot, they control the product even when partners are involved as well. And we're now starting to see that this ongoing trend that I was talking about, I can't even remember when it was. I think it was the back end of last year when we had all the LPL English stream stuff going on, and they basically took over LPL EN. Which the only reason anyone cared about the Chinese league is that a group of dedicated people were doing that broadcast week in, week out. Riot removed their right to do that broadcast and then gave one of the people a job and then offered some token position to Froskarin, and basically she's in the position now where I think she's effectively training a replacement ultimately. Like, obviously, Riot don't want to work with her. I feel like they didn't like how to avoid some criticism.
I feel like with her especially, they didn't like how brash she was, or she came off, or she wasn't really popular with a lot of viewers. But I think you had to give it to her that she has so much insight in the first place. But that's just Riot. I feel like when you look at like
No, I feel like I was just going to say, I think Froskarin's a really, really talented individual. I love her brash attitude. I love the way she expresses herself. I think she's intelligent. I think she's good on a broadcast. And I think it's a fucking disgrace that she's been marginalized and sidelined by a company that she wants to do nothing more than actually dedicate her craft to.
Yeah.
And I think when you get into this territory of saying, hey, you're super, super talented, we really want to use you, but we think your personality just sucks. It's just not right for us. I think that's this fucking that this is one of the reasons why the world is just getting shit. This is one of the reasons why in any art, in any creative pursuit, we don't have the very best. In fact, we have bland, mediocre slop served up across the board because anybody that isn't able to be perfectly pigeonholed into talented, but first and foremost, you understand how the PR machine works and how publicity works and how social media works, and you're willing to suck that dick and suppress yourself just to fucking make money, therefore effectively shilling at the expense of your own fucking soul, right? That's what is respected in this day and age. And I think it's a fucking shame when companies promote that ideology over, hey, whatever happened to being talented but flawed? You know, think about all the best musicians.
Yeah.
Think about all the, think about all the best painters. Would you have them over for fucking dinner? They'd probably be a mess. They'd probably get drunk, pissed on your carpet. You know what I mean? Think about the best writers. Think about fucking Charles Bukowski, a man who used to wake up religiously, just go outside and drink a 6-pack of beer for breakfast just to get fucking leveled. You can watch a video of him on fucking YouTube in the middle of an interview kicking his fucking current girlfriend or wife in the head and then saying he's going to get a Jewish lawyer and take all her money off her, right? does this make him, should publishers have turned around and said, we're not going to publish Charles Bukowski? Well, obviously, if you did that, it would be a crime because he's one of the fucking greatest writers who's ever fucking lived. And unfortunately, people do believe that now. People do believe talent is secondary to all of this other bullshit. And that's the problem we've got. Whereas in the fucking 60s and 70s and 50s, everybody was willing to take a punt on somebody and just be like, hey, look, the work's good. It's all about the work. So, I wish people could embody that ethos now. Anyway, sorry, I went on my rant. Yes. It's all you now. It's all you now. Promise.
I feel like the only person, who's I guess, superseded Riot's sort of control is Monte Cristo, simply because the way he's built his own cult following, it's sort of very hard for Riot to sort of strip him away. Every time they've sort of tried to kick him off, event that they want to do, whether it's the Reddit or just the actual community, sort of like irks up and says, no, we want him on here. And even you can say that for coming into Worlds, they did the same for Doha. It feels like these independent casters, if Riot doesn't hire them themselves, they want to keep them as far away from as many events as possible. And it's just gone to the point now, I feel that Riot has to sort of take Monte Cristo, whether they like him or not.
Yeah.
And I was just wondering a little bit more about your work.
I'll tell you, Johnny. I'll tell you they don't like him. I'll tell you that they don't like him.
It feels like that way. It feels like if you read between
don't
things,
like
it feels
him.
like he's...
There's been all sorts of shit behind the scenes. It already came out on Twitter, and I've talked about this multiple times. This is how Riot Games do an interview. So your interview will be usually you have like a phone interview first. There's nothing really sinister about that. They just want to flesh you out, see if you're good. Maybe you'll do a secondary phone interview. But a Riot Games interview process is never like just one interview, two interviews, like even 3 interviews, like it might be for a normal hire. Sometimes it can run like 10 interviews. Okay, and they do it in face-to-face, and you come to the office and you have to meet people, and they ask you all these fucked up questions. And they juxtapose asking a really abstract question. And I've used one example, and this was from an interview subject that I conducted an interview with, because obviously I like to know everything that goes on with Riot Games, because I find them a very sinister presence in our space. And the example was, you are a brick in a wall. Which brick are you and why?
The fuck kind of question is that?
You are a brick in a wall. Which brick are you and why?
Is fucking Light sitting there on the other side going...
Yeah, like
is he
one
crazy?
of them one-way mirrors or whatever.
Does he need reform?
And obviously what you're supposed to do there is, on the spur, you're supposed to go, well, I would be the brick in the bottom row in the middle, because that bears the most load, and because that's what I do when I work. I carry all the weight of the team. Is that a good answer? And they sit there and go, and then they'll tick like a box on a form which will say team player, delusions of grandeur, narcissism, whatever. I mean, obviously if you've got those things, you would definitely fit in with Riot. But then the other thing they do is they ask questions such as, what do you think of... I mean, they stopped naming me directly in their interviews, actually. So the question wasn't, what do you think of Richard Lewis's work? It became, what do you think of esports journalism? Right? And then they would wait for anybody to mention me, and if anybody mentioned me, that was an instant cross.
So does that mean that they're just hiring... Does it mean they're just hiring people who are constantly on the Kool-Aid, like, I hate Richard, I hate anyone who speaks out against Riot? Because being a fan of League of Legends since beta, like, I fucking hate the way it's going now. Like, IPL 5 was the greatest tournament we've ever had, and now we get all these fucking shitty things. And besides a joke, like, yes, we get to see a few good teams, but not compared to the old IEMs where you used to get a hugely stacked tournament from all around the world, having those double brackets, getting to see your team, whether they they might have bombed out against a really good team, make it all the way through the losers bracket. Nowadays, we barely get any of this, and it just feels like, that on top of the fact that you got, I do believe, recently you did the whole thing about Riot Light's surveys and all that bullshit that he's doing. Like, what kind of fucking gaming company does this? Make the game.
Well, I think what's hilarious is, a better question isn't what kind of games company does this, because actually I think every games company would like to do something similar to this. Maybe not this, because not everyone will crusade about wanting to take bad language away from the internet. But certainly in terms of getting to know their player base and their customer base, I think a lot of companies would want to do this. The better question is, what games company has developed a community so cuckolded and fucked in the head from routinely playing their game and having this idea that bad language and criticism is toxic, this buzzword, something to be afraid of, something to be avoided, something you will not experience in real life. So the entire community of cucks swallow this hook, line, and sinker. And people were even saying to me, when the League of Legends people were debating it, they were going, well, there's absolutely nothing wrong with this whatsoever. Now, even the fucking liberal left tech press complained about this and said that this was worrying, that this was problematic, right? And yet the League of Legends players themselves are like, hey, I haven't got a problem with this. Don't be an asshole in game. It's just that simple. That's what they say. Bullshit, now, yeah, of course it's bullshit. Because bullshit, you have to be fucked in the head to think that that's
I just want to say
an acceptable trade-off.
I want to say my thing, like, okay, you know when people flame in toxic, like, there's a lot of times that people you can say they're toxic when they're telling you what you've done wrong. And I'm the first person who will say, like, I don't like hearing it, but they're fucking right. I'm not going to flame them back. When they're right, I'll take it on the chin. I think that's what Riot needs to understand. You know, I get it. You know, you want to have a friendly environment, but like, it's, you know, it's like real life, you know. I went to a boys' school where it was, you know, heavy on bullying, but it's the type of things like that that makes you the person you are. You know, it toughens you up. It makes you realize, hey, you know, I've got to be a little bit more observant by the way I'm acting and stuff. And then it makes you into a better, well-rounded person. And in the case of League, a better, well-rounded player. So, you know, if you're not warding or if you're fucking acting like a fucking idiot, then, you know, you won't act like that in the future. Well, that's the hope, that if people tell you enough times, you won't.
So here's the other, here's where we get back to the weird interviews. So another interview question would be, who do you know in the scene? Do you associate with anybody in the scene? And what they would do is they would use this to make up maps of potential alliances. And obviously they keep all the answers really on file. Deep? But trust me, they have files where, for example, again, I've heard about mine. Every article I've ever written, every tweet I've made about Riot. There's allegedly transcriptions of things I've said on Trash Talk in there. I mean, they go fucking deep. I mean, keep in mind, you know, they pay people to basically just browse that front page of that subreddit, which they totally don't control and totally have no influence over. And, you know, there's been people who've come forward and, you know, they've obviously got direct communication with the mods. We all know that. This is all established. It's all true. But, like, they pay people basically just to sit there and do that. And you'll notice whenever there's like something that like they can get some quick positive PR about, they're on there within 2 minutes. If someone makes a post like, look at this game-breaking bug, a Rioter will post in there and go, yep, we're going to fix it. Then if someone's like, why has Riot support fucking took all my money out my bank account? Then that thread, first of all, gets deleted and the mods go, yeah, this isn't a Riot support forum. Or if it's something that isn't directly linked to the support but is bad, Riot can't answer it. But trust me, they've seen it, but they just don't post. So they do go this deep. They go absolutely ham. You know, they make notes of Reddit threads or topical discussions, which esports personalities get involved in those discussions. And they use their interviews for intelligence gathering. I'm telling you, this is absolutely true. People can say I'm crazy, but, you know, people say it, and then I'm right. And again, with Monty, Monty, they ask a question for prospective casters. What do you think of Monte Cristo? What do you think of Monte Cristo's casting? Questions like this, and they ask, and the implication always is that obviously if you answer in the positive, you're not going to have a good time. You're not going to be deemed suitable. And Monte Cristo even tweeted he's been told this by multiple people, multiple interviewee subjects. So my question to that is, if it's something innocent, you would phrase it like, hey, you know, we've obviously got lots of casters. Which one do you like best? And then you wait for Monte Cristo to come up. They specifically drop Monte Cristo's name because what they don't want is anybody that's kind of independently minded, like Monte Cristo is. And let's be clear, Monte Cristo casts, analyzes at a high level. He's happy to criticize the meta game if at any point it's broken or he doesn't feel it works. Riot. And he doesn't just and he's happy to criticize Riot, their policies and their practices, and he does it publicly, and he does it publicly to a massive reach. Riot can't have that. And in fact, if he wasn't such a popular figure, he'd already been gone. 100%.
That's definitely how I feel about it. I also wanted to ask, you know, like, what's the end game with Riot? They, like, obviously they've made their way to push you out of the Reddit, and I'm guessing they probably want to get rid of the Daily Dot boys too, because the fact is they always break news and criticize, you know, when it's due. You know, do you think there will be like, you know, a shadow ban for the Daily Dot, you know, type of articles coming out in the future, or where do you think the?
I mean, I think it's really interesting because What happens here is, so again, let's just piece the puzzle together, and what I'll do is, Johnny, I'll put the callers in for you, mate, right, and you can fill the rest of the jigsaw in. That's what I like to do. So people will recall that at the height of my infamy within the League of Legends scene, I was just going on a fucking crazy streak, like every player transfer, leak, roster swaps, this, that, breaking it before the orgs, breaking it before Riot. Daily Dot was just killing it, traffic-wise, attention-wise. We were the place to go to read about League of Legends. Genuine reporting. None of that lol esports bullshit where the editor pulls an article because the article says Jarvan's not very strong in the current meta, and they go, you can't criticize a champion. You know, like not that sanitized, watered down bullshit. So at the height of that, right, people, you'll notice every time we broke a story, same routine. Organization comes out and denies it, then it happens. Organization says Daily Dot are scumbags, then it's true. And they whip the fucking crowd up into a frenzy, and that crowd now says ridiculous things like Jacob Wolf has never got a story right, he just makes stuff up, all his sources are from Reddit, we should ban Daily Dot articles. Daily Dot articles are bullshit. Yeah, I mean, look at the XPEC thing. Josh Raven even got fucked.
He called it.
He
called it so much longer.
Yeah, called it. And what did people say? He's making it up. XPEC came out and shot on him. Josh Raven's ruined. Haven't seen XPEC play since. So let's also factor in that at the time that this is happening, Riot Games had their team owner, player manager summit where everybody met, and one of the topics was esports journalism and how they could get a handle on it all. And they proposed several things in that meeting. One of the things was, how can we work better with organizations to be the source and make announcements? That was one of the things. LoL Esports wanted to make announcements, and you remember they made a few. In fact, I can't remember which player it was, but they actually announced a player before the org did. And that was funny because obviously when TSM did that, Reginald got fined. So they did that. Then the other thing that they wanted to do was they told organizations to monitor and be thoughtful about hiring people who have relationships to existing journalists. And it was heavily implied that if somebody, be it an analyst, a coach, a writer, maybe even a player, had a relationship to somebody like me, do not hire them. Because then that's almost certainly going to be a guaranteed source of leaking. And what they did was they worded it in a way like, hey, we can't tell you what to do, but we all agree the leaks are a problem. We all agree the leaks hurt everybody. So maybe you might want to think about not hiring people who have relationships with people like Richard Lewis, like Jacob Wolf. Then the other thing they did was they went on about how we don't want to shut down journalism. We like independent reporting. And then they gave examples of independent reporting they thought was good, which included Travis Gafford. So this meeting, of course, was a farce and a shambles. So let's just place it into a broader context here. So Riot, and of course, sorry, I'm missing out the other part of the jigsaw, which was they introduced a no leak clause, which was if any information got out about a transfer or a change or anything that Riot would deem leak worthy, right? And it got a staff member of the organization or a contracted player or manager or owner had leaked it, they would be subject to penalty. And they added this clause. At the time, people were calling it the Richard Lewis clause, right? So they added that in there, so to make people fearful about leaking information. Right? So you got all that in. So now let's look at it. Riot hold the summit. They talk to the owners. Now it becomes habitual that every story that's ever leaked is denied by the organization, even when it's abundantly clear it's not going to be. They leverage the childish, stupid, cuckolded League of Legends community, which are a bunch of fucking kids with no life experience whatsoever, who basically think that all behavior must be judged based on what happens in a schoolroom because they've never had a fucking job and they've never lived a day in their life, right? So they get whipped up into a frenzy, and they're like, we must ban everything. The Daily Dot is bad. Richard Lewis is bad. And it creates this climate where, first of all, it makes you think twice before you publish a story, because you're going to get shit on, and you're going to get shit on hard for at least 2 days, maybe more, depending on the nature of the story. Then, on top of that, right, you're going to have pressure from the League of Legends community, all basically saying to the moderators, yes, please censor the subreddit. Please censor it. My fragile little mind can't handle hearing about what players' organizations are going to pick up 2 days in advance. I can't do it. And even though doing it doesn't hurt the organization in any way, because when the official announcement comes out, they still get all the same web traffic they would have got if it was a surprise. And that's demonstrably true. Yeah. If anything, it builds up hype, exactly. But no, so all the kids are saying to the moderators, who are already fucking trigger happy, as we know, right? Yeah. Like to the point where I can't even buy ad space on the League of Legends subreddit. It's too triggering for the mods. Official reason. It's too triggering for the mods. Moderator feelings must be taken into account even when monetizing ad revenue. Official response from Reddit. I'm going to make a video about it. So you put all that into the context of the environment it's in. So you've already got people like Jacob Wolf and Josh Raven. And I talk to these guys, right? And they tell me, like, every day we publish a fucking story and we know what we're going to get. I just feel like logging off from a PC. I just feel like fucking, killing myself. I just feel like ending it all. It's just too much. Because you just get absolutely harassed, harangued. You get called bullshit by people who have bigger followings than you. And then 2 days later, when you write, none of those cunts that have done that are held accountable for lying. And none of the community that cowardly bullied these people have any fucking consequences whatsoever. And in fact, the moderators endorse the witch hunting threads. How many times has there been a thread about, can we ban Jacob Wolf articles? Can we ban Daily Dot articles? This is an example of shit journalism. And the mods allow it. The mods allow those threads. Meanwhile, if somebody comes up and says, I think Davies is a bad player, it's removed as soon as they see it. Why are the rules being enforced in a non-consistent manner? Because it suits the overarching agenda, which is Riot Games do not want journalists anywhere near what they do, anywhere near their product, and they have got all the organizations all on board, basically, with, hey, look how bad these journalists are. So to answer your question in a roundabout way, then yeah, in an ideal world, Riot would drive all of these people out. In an ideal world, the Daily Dots and people like that wouldn't write about League of Legends. They simply do not want it. Yeah, and all you would get is a Travis interview, and occasionally when someone steps out of line, like Chris Badawi, you get bullshit little hit pieces, like the article that was proven to be published without the due diligence being done by the journalist, that Travis published lies about Chris Badawi, right? Because he didn't do some cursory fact checking, and the Daily Dot had to fucking correct that article. And I'm saying that I don't even work for the Daily Dot anymore. I've gone to a fucking right-wing publication. They're very much left-wing. But I still champion what the Daily Dot does in the esports section. Oh, yeah, it's fucking great. Loads of money. But anyway, so the point is, right, that the journalist that's being lauded and held up is a guy that ran a fucking 8-article-strong collective hit piece on a man who was proven to be mostly innocent of the things that he was accused of. And it used quotes from people that had never even met that man, designed to condemn that individual, and used quotes that were later proven to be a fucking lie. And nobody's held him accountable. And nobody's held the publication he works for accountable, GameSpot. And the world just keeps turning.
Like, realistically, his interviews, like when League was first developing, like, his fluffy interviews were great. But nowadays, just, if you're like me, nobody gives a shit. Nobody gives a shit about your awkward, like, interviews with Double Lift or Chowster or someone who's like, it's pathetic in comparison to what I'm getting used to, especially with, like, things like Thorin's Thoughts and yourself, your own personal articles on Breitbart and before when you're on Daily Dot. His stuff is, maybe it caters to, the childish nature of, I guess, what the large part of, like, the LOL audience is, but it's a joke nowadays. I'm surprised it's not finished yet.
Yeah, well, I mean, Here's the thing. Obviously, now we're getting the second wave. They realise that, you know, viewing numbers are plateauing. They're only getting big spikes again now for the, how should we say, events like a TSM versus a CLG, which they can hype up and roll out Imagine Dragons or whatever contrived bullshit they want to do. Worlds, obviously, still getting good numbers. But this is all you need to know about League of Legends growth stalling. Where's the infographic? Where's the infographic where they ram the big Riot fucking fist-shaped dick down your throat telling everyone how big their fucking game is? Haven't seen one of them for a while. How odd. How odd that a company, while they were on the upward climb and never shut the fuck up about it, aren't producing these ridiculous infographics anymore. And when one does come, because they know they'll have to fucking produce one, it won't use the same numbers. It'll look very different to you know, other things, the ones that have gone previously. On top of that, they're looking into other avenues. You know, I could see them being on TV. You know, next year. I think, or maybe 2017. I think with all the interest CS:GO's getting to TV, I think Riot's going to get a piece of that fucking pie. And I think they're going to want to get into it. And also, as well, you'll notice the days of bedroom-owned organizations in LCS are fucking dead. They're fucking dead. And in fact, I wrote an article again on... Yeah, well, it's going to happen all over. I wrote an article again on Breitbart where people was talking about how basically they want the philanthropists and the big owners and all of these people to come in, and they want the LCS teams to be basically owned by multi-millionaires, billionaires, because they just think it's a better look, and they know that they're going to have less financial problems and less issues. And that's great, because no one wants another MYM or a Copenhagen Wolves or whatever the fuck it is. But ultimately, all that's going to happen now is Challenger Series is just going to be a feeder league where people create teams and identities and squads. They get them to LCS, and then they just get bought out. And that's great. The owner walks away with a chunk of change. Maybe he gets to do it again. Make more, you know, make another chunk of change. But the reality is the players are getting fucked in all of this. And in the meantime, they're making a stipend that isn't even fucking minimum wage in some parts of the world. So, it's a shocking state of affairs where we're at with Riot Games. But actually, this is what they want. That's the thing. This is what Riot Games want. Now, sorry, the point we were meant to be talking about was Monty. Yeah. So, if you ask me what's going to happen with him, I think his days with Riot are done. I think this is how it'll play out. He's going to have so many job offers. Yeah, I mean, he's contracted to OGN, but here's the thing. For someone like Monty, let's say Twitch TV, you know, they pay the money to get Monty out of his OGN contract, right, and have him work for Twitch. ESL would do that, right? And then again, it would be inarguable. You know, Riot would have a real hard time saying to ESL, you can't have an ESL employee at IEM. That's really difficult. Freelancers, they got dominion over. An ESL employee, well, you can't tell us what employees we use for what jobs. Sorry, that's overreach. That's beyond even Riot Games. So they're the first kind of people that are going to be bidding for him. Like, Monty could walk into one of those companies tomorrow. The question is, would Monty want to do that? Because there's an argument he can make more money freelance. But it certainly won't be in League of Legends, because freelancers don't make money in League of Legends because there's no one to freelance for. OGM was the last bastion, effectively, of independent broadcasting. Now that it's all going to be brought under the Riot umbrella, what are you going to do? So he'll probably have to move to another game. And that's well within his abilities. But that just goes to show you how fucked the whole situation is. That not only are you going to end up with another kind of, homogenous, hermetically sealed Riot broadcast for the Korean League, and Monty won't be on there. I doubt Doa will be on there if Monty's not on there. Maybe he will. Maybe Riot will hire Doa. Like, I don't even know how that'll go. They certainly won't hire Monty.
I could see them hiring Doa and fucking Papa Smithy and just not giving Monty a spot. And then it's going to be like that awkwardness about it.
You know, and then like I say, I think what'll happen is he'll move into another game and be hugely successful in that game. And if I was a betting man, I would say whatever game he moves into, probably is going to be made by Blizzard. Because, look, Blizzard want fucking talent attached to Overwatch, for example. And think about it, Overwatch could certainly play to Monty's strengths. Sure, he might not have done FPS before, but he's definitely done multiple class-based games, multiple strategy games. The guy's smart, the guy understands things. He's got a great flow about it. It's going to be a very difficult game to explain to people within a broadcast context. So you need somebody who's intelligent and concise, and Monty definitely is that. So who knows? Who knows? But certainly the reality is, and it's been coming for a while, Monty's future lies away from League of Legends, and I think it's a goddamn disgrace that is the case.
100%. Definitely agree with you, Rich.
Do you have anything to add? This is one of those calls, where what you did is you triggered me with the topic, and I feel like I've ranted over you. It's very rude and stuff, so I definitely want to give you the last word at least.
No, I'd like to say a big thank, Rich. Also, I just want to confirm one thing. I don't want to trigger you into another thing that happened recently, but is that the same person that went out with Moonglaive, the Australian StarCraft player, and dumped him on his first day of going to GSL in Korea? Is it the same person? Honest. That's yes or no? Yeah.
Look, I'll just say, I'll be honest in that I don't keep up with the dating habits of players. I find it a bit gaudy and gauche and not something I'm particularly interested in. That said, in the aftermath of the incident, I had like 1 million people messaging me about that, messaging me links.
Yeah.
So unless all of those people are misunderstood, I think you might be correct.
Okay, no worries. Anyway, thank you, Richard.
But again, I don't. Yeah, you too.
Yeah,
I don't think it's
keep yourself far away from.
Yeah. I'll be timid as a little lamb. Anyway, thanks up for calling in, brother. I hope you'll call in again sometime. It was a great call.
No worries. And Loader, come at me, bro. Get fucked.
Yeah, come at me. All right, peace out. So there you go. Nice visit from Straya. Presuming by the accent.
Glad and
a good point. Oh yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. But it wasn't a submarine. It was like, rush deep. Rush deep.
No stop.
Like that.
No stop.
So what do you think? I mean, you heard my rant. You heard my summary. Is Monty's League of Legends days coming to a close, or am I being a mad pessimist and speculating that there's no need for speculation?
For recently he's just been too big to fail, but now that they're doing this whole, Riot takeover, maybe it is. I don't know. I still think he's too big to fail. I still think that'd be way too much outrage if they tried to kick him off the broadcast.
But this is the thing. This is the thing that there's it'll go the classic Riot way. So it'll either be announced by Monty. There'll be community backlash, and then Riot will get on top of that backlash and frame it in a different way. Or Riot will leverage whatever leverage they've got to make sure it all looks amicable from the start. So, for example, if they owe Monty any money, or maybe they can give him some more money, or maybe he's signed some sort of agreement that he would rather that he never had, or whatever it'll be. I mean, these are the things they've used typically in the past against other personalities in the scene, and players in some instances. What they'll do is they'll turn around and say, "Well, look, we can make all that go away. Just sign this non-disparagement clause," and because they love their contracts. And they love the threat of litigation. So he signs a non-disparagement clause and basically comes out and goes, "We've had a great time. We've had a great partnership. However, obviously, I won't be with the broadcast going to Riot Games. I won't be going with it. And I'm contracted to OGN, and I'll be loyal to OGN and do whatever OGN want me to." That puts everyone on high alert. And obviously, he won't be at OGN if League of Legends isn't there. Because unless OGN gets some mad contract with Blizzard for Overwatch or something like that, I think. And equally, I think, but more another route that Riot could probably go down would be something like, now that we've brought the Korean broadcast in house, we find it problematic that a analyst and broadcasting personality would have an ownership stake in a team.
Yeah, maybe.
So we needed Monty to divest himself of ownership of Renegades, something he refused to do. We really wanted to make this work because we have lots of fond memories of Monte Cristo, but unfortunately it couldn't. And therefore we had to bring our working relationship to an end. And this all sounds like plausible, doesn't it? This sounds like how Riot Games operate.
Speech.
Yeah, so it'll be something along those lines, I think. So we've had a late night visitor. It's been pretty good, the chat today, and then just look, check out that Brian 00798. Right, so I'm guessing first of all, this cunt thinks he's James Bond, right?
Yes,
right. He's obviously just seen his first Bond movie. He probably thinks fucking Daniel Craig is the only James Bond. You know, born in '98, right? And he goes, RL equals cancer of CS:GO. I wish these cunts would call in.
I mean,
call
in, lads. I'll get you on. Definitely love to get you on. Like.
Oh, I'd love to get this little squeaker on. I'd love these guys like RL equals cancer of CS:GO. I like Raheem. He is best caster. He make noises. He make noises with mouth.
And play
that
silly songs.
Make me laugh. In James Bond movie, Daniel Craig drinks poisoned martini, then defibrillates himself in a car. Comes back to the table and says, "That last drink nearly killed me." What a great film. So
all right, go bed basically. Mate, have you been battered? What's that scar on the right side of your head? On the left side of your head, rather. Left side. Other side. One? Up, higher.
Where?
Yeah, but the other side.
Where?
Right.
Tell me where.
Look to your right a little bit.
Yeah.
Right. You have a massive red mark right there, mate. Do you not see it? There,
yeah.
What's happened there?
Yeah. Don't know, mate.
Straight headbutting walls for a laugh. Trying to calm me down.
Maybe there was some sort of altercation at DreamHack.
Yeah. Should have taken a picture of that, mate.
A picture of that. And, but whatever. Obviously, you know. So anyway.
Let's go bed.
Think we'll end the show, shall we? Yeah, let's do it. You've been saying I just want to go to bed for fucking ages.
Tired,
you sucked all that fucking Patreon money out, you little fucking bitch. Now you're lost.
My half, mate. I'll be having these.
Yeah. Your half always goes first. It's like, I'll just see how Patreon gets on. You may as well, right? You take that Patreon money out so fast, you may as well. It's like, you're like one of them burglars, like his gimmick is he just does a shit on the floor. Takes the TV, but leaves the shit on the floor. Fucking unreal, mate. You're just in there. You fucking do. All I want to do is just see how it's percolating.
I'm deep in the streets, mate. I don't fuck about.
But, you know, I'll tell you a funny story, actually. Hang on. I just want to check that this is right, because it could be wrong. Yeah, there it is. So, there was this guy, and I can't even remember where I read this, but anyway, he was complaining about how he'd been burgled, right? And he was like saying, they took like my TV, they took my computer, they took everything. And he said, and I'm pure boiling about it. Like, it's not even a big, I've got insurance. It's not that. It's not like they stole any irreplaceable heirlooms. But the burglar was a right cheeky twat. Because out of my CD rack, he took the Foo Fighters album, There Is Nothing Left to Lose, and left it in the middle of the empty room. How fucking funnish is that, man?
That's sick, man.
Can you even imagine that? You took everything else, like, and then just left that there. That's unreal, mate. That's my kind of burglar. Yeah. You feel it? You feel me? You feel me? I'll tell you another story like that, and we'll end the show.
All right. One more burglary story.
Yeah, I know. I've had a few to do, but I'm trying to make people view me as a human again.
Not honest.
Being humanized. So, right, I had a mate who used to live in Bolton. We used to call him Bestie because he looked like George Best. Not like George Best in his prime, like George Best at the end, you know. Like, yellow, second liver George Best, you know what I mean? Like, fucking the one who's like, I'll never drink again while he's got a glass of wine in his hand, you know? Like,
second
anyway,
liver George Best. Right, okay.
Second liver George Best. Liver number 2, The Reckoning. So anyway, we were all talking about films and movies and like how you can have these like iconic moments in your life about movies, and you know how like you'll never forget where you were when you watch this film, and it ties into a memory, and it's all kinds of stuff. So we were obviously one of the big ones is Usual Suspects, because of the fucking twist ending and all that. And he said that he went to see it when it first came out. He went to see it in a cinema in Bolton. And he was queuing up. And fucking, you know, he'd heard like, oh, the movie's great, you know, blah, blah, blah. And as they're queuing up, there's a poster on the wall, you know, for the films, you know, all the films that they're showing in the different screens. And it's, you know, it's a poster, but it's behind like Perspex glass. And if you remember the Usual Suspects poster, it's the lineup, yeah? Of all of the stars. They're all in a lineup, okay? And someone has took a black marker pen and an arrow drawn over Kevin Spacey's head and wrote, "It's him." So he doesn't even know what that means. Like, he's like, what the fuck is that? And of course, you know, you're watching the film and you're thinking, well, that has no relevance. And then as soon as the whole Kaiser Soze thing comes up, they're all just looking at each other, him and his mates, going, "It's him, isn't it?" And like one of the greatest twist endings of all time, ruined by some twat with a marker pen. So there you go. It's him. Right.
The best part is, isn't it weird that probably like 80% of our chat doesn't even know what that means?
No, of course they do.
Nah, I reckon only about 40% of them will.
Look at the reaction. You underestimated. Sure, fucking whatever his name was, fucking Barry 007, 98 or whatever the fuck he was. Big John 007, 92. Him, he's a fucking Big Barry. You know, he won't get it, obviously. He thinks he identifies with James Bond. Thinks he's the best film character of all time, doesn't he?
He is, man, clearly.
What a fuck. Bit of a mess. So yeah, let's
go bed.
Let's go. Right, go to bed. So anyway, do you have anything to say, Sam?
Rest in peace, easy. All right, go bed.
Okay. And obviously we'll keep an eye on the Don Dolo stroke Beetlejuice situation. We'll monitor that. Thanks to all the callers. Thanks to all the viewers. Thanks to all the people who are still hurling abuse and threats at me. It's all good. In the hood, I'm still enjoying it. Still here, not going to go anywhere. Thanks to all the people who called in. Thanks to Don Dolo, fine purveyor of music, and of course, thanks to everybody who has made this show what it is. And a final thanks, of course, to the great John Olomu for being such a fantastic Ruby player and inspiration. So we'll be back on Trash Talk very soon. The good news is I am totally free from all engagements from the 7th onwards, and I plan to stream something every day up until Christmas. And then obviously I stream my own suicide on Christmas Day.
Yeah, just the hanging.
Right, no, while Elvis Presley's "It's Gonna Be Lonely."
Just for your feet, man.
Hey, Richard Lewis is doing a Christmas Day stream. It's gonna be lonely. That's how we're going. That's how we're going. But anyway, so there'll be plenty more content. We're going to catch up on all the Patreon. I've got interviews coming thick and fast. So thanks for the support and the patience. We'll get on top of it. We'll go into 2016 with it all done. Anyway, we will end with a song, as always. And it's another song. After the credits, all our Patreon supporters. And it's another song that aptly describes me. Listen to the lyrics. Stick around. See you next time. Peace.
See ya.